Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is February 9th, 2019. My name is Eric Peterson, and joining me today, Mr. Tom Reagan.
What's up, guys?
Mr. Mike Tyson.
I'll tell you what, Eric, that dancing to no music just there was fantastic. I could feel the beat coming through the headphones even though they were silent.
I think the bottom half or the top half of my head did a good job of portraying the beat of the music.
Well, I wasn't watching.
You weren't watching yet?
Oh, it's a hint to something. Ooh.
And Dan Curtis is here.
I don't get it.
Get it, Dan? Because you don't get it? But it's a running joke about you not getting things?
Huh?
Not got it.
Exactly.
Guys, we're here, live, in the flesh. I can see you. This is a first.
Yes.
Yeah, this is
A Factory
unfortunate.
Sealed first.
I have to look at Eric's head.
I have a feeling like we've missed something that's crucial to the success of putting out the normal version of the show.
What's that?
I don't know. We'll find out when it
We'll
comes
find
time
out.
to edit. And I've said, oh, we forgot to record something.
I think I'm definitely recording, so that always helps.
You have a glaring red light that looks like Hal from Space Odyssey.
It's on my microphone. Hang on. I'll use this fancy tape.
Oh, yeah.
Where did you get that?
What, the fancy tape?
Yeah.
I literally showed it to you moments ago during the Unwrapped.
Well, you were talking about cultural appropriation and all that, and I was a little overwhelmed.
Is it washi tape? Is that what it is?
No, it's like present tape, and it's got all vines and flowers on it. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
Look,
Mike.
see?
That's called
Look at
washi
these
tape.
flowers.
Mike,
What?
you missed.
No, it's definitely on there. It's just this tape's a bit see-through. So for the audio listeners, this is an absolute treat, obviously.
Right now we're just sat watching Mike putting tape over a small light on a microphone.
And
Quick,
if you're watching us live,
intermission music.
and if you're watching us live on Facebook right now, this is some quality entertainment.
How much? Let's see how much of this tape it takes him to cover up that red light.
I'm going to guess
Dan, hold
about
music.
four layers.
Oh no, I've lost the end. I've lost the end.
Oh, Jesus,
no.
here we
The
go.
worst. The worst.
Oh, the worst.
So anyway, how are you guys? Maybe we should move on from the tape.
I don't know. I'm pretty invested in this tape situation.
Okay, we're on section
I'm
number 3.
gonna binge watch this taping.
On repeat.
Yeah.
Is that less glaring now?
No.
You still,
you can still see
completely
it.
missed.
New subset of ASMR, just Mike taping shit to his microphone.
Oh, you're
Why
getting
didn't you
close.
spot this before we
You're
were
getting close.
Oh.
Keep going. You're almost there.
Oh, okay. Quality audio entertainment, this.
It's so tense.
Yes.
Oh, nearly.
Maybe one
How
more
many
and you'll
layers
have
is that?
Okay, can we have a bit of, like, some kind of tense music?
My microphone has a blue light on, Mike. You need to come here as well.
How's this?
Oh, he did it.
Done. He's done.
How many layers was it?
I stopped counting.
It did.
Oh.
Sorry.
Now we find out that light is somehow essential to the recording process, and you have to take it off.
What we'll do is we'll do an extra bit of Unwrapped at the end, and we'll take it off and count it.
So take bets on how many layers you think it was.
Oh, wow, that's some quality entertainment right there, guys.
There's a raffle prize for someone there.
So, this isn't the first time recently we've seen each other in the flesh, I guess.
I've seen a lot of your guys' flesh. in the
That, my
past
friend,
2
was a beautiful segue.
I know.
Segway!
Yeah, we did see a lot of flesh, actually.
Yes.
A lot of smooth areas.
Was I topless at any point?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
good.
I don't know if you
I
remember.
seem to remember a curiously hairless torso walking past at some point.
I don't know, I have like maybe 5 in the middle of my chest now.
Then we had Dan the bear walking around.
Sasquatch is the term, thank you all.
So this is our first proper show since the big Freedom trip.
Yeah, and we actually didn't even do a podcast on Tour Day America.
We were going to, but after 6 hours of streaming, it was like, we've given a lot.
We've done enough
really
content.
tired.
Yeah. I think that night we were all basically dead off everything we'd done on the trip.
And that was only the third night of the trip.
Should we do a show and everybody was sat on the sofa going, no.
We're trying to set it up like pretending that we're all interested in it, and we're like, guys, let's just stop the bullshit. Nobody wants to do this.
Like, it will be really, really forced if we don't. So yeah, our apologies that we didn't do one whilst we were actually out there. But what you did get was a 6-hour stream of us being ridiculous.
And ridiculous we were.
We were.
You've uploaded that for people. Is that still on Twitch? And
Yeah, but I actually put it on YouTube because in listening back, we realized that all the microphones we were using, with the exception of the announcer mic, they were all just coming out of the left channel. So I had to recombine that audio. So the YouTube version has the combined audio and it sounds better.
Yeah, but surely that's fine if you can only hear out your left ear.
That's a small population.
How do you know? That's a big assumption.
Well, most people have 2 ears.
Ragsy's frigging laughing at that as well.
No, because I actually have a friend that can only hear out his left ear.
Oh, jeez.
And,
That's not funny, Tom. You shouldn't laugh at that.
No, I know.
So if you wanted to bitch about him, you could just stand on the right and he wouldn't hear you.
Oh, that fucking Fred! Ugh. And he got 50% of his hearing. What a nub!
You're partially deaf.
What?
But yeah, that stream was us playing a load of ridiculous video game challenges. We had Zach Foley, Matt Ernie, and all the wags helping us out as well. And it was generally a good time. So if you've got 6 hours to spare, go and check it out. It'll also give us some YouTube views, won't it?
What we could do on YouTube is put some timestamps for the games. That would be cool.
Yeah, that's a lot of effort.
I'll do it. We didn't do that many games.
Yeah, we had a much bigger list.
It'll give Tom something to do while he's at work.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were really bad in guessing how long each challenge would take. I had allotted for the Mario Kart tournament, maybe 40 minutes. Nope, hour and 20. Cat comes up.
Is that how long that was?
Just from the time we started till the time we were done with Mario Kart was like an hour 15, hour 20. Cat came up to me and she's like, there's no way we're getting through all these games. So we just started paring down the list.
She's the sensible one.
Without her, that thing would have just descended into shambles.
I think you're probably right.
Lady Catherine was on it.
Oh,
she was on it.
What
She
an
was working
absolute
really
shit
hard.
show. We had a good time though. That was really cool.
It was really fun. I loved it.
It was. We had so much more out of it than we thought we would. I think just in terms of people watching and things like that, and people donating as well. It was incredible.
What was the final count? Like 450, 460?
I think it was
479,
467 and change, wasn't it?
I think, yeah.
That's crazy.
I think you're right. It was between $450 and $500, which is amazing.
That essentially pays for the next year and a half of the show, along with a bunch of giveaways. So we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, you're stuck with us now.
You're stuck with us.
They just paid to keep the mics on and the lights on.
Now you get our beautiful faces in video form, unless you're listening to this on iTunes or some shit, in which case you do not.
Well, I'm still predicting at some point that Dan's is going to turn black and white and then go to like a really grainy CRT version of video and then start getting super choppy.
It's just be like a silent film, and things will keep coming up about what I'm about to say.
We should make we should give Mike Dan's square, like his rectangle, like rounded corners with a kind of concave look, like a CRT.
I could do that. I could put that over.
Stretch to 16.9.
Yeah, with scan lines across it. Every now and again, it flickers.
Jeez. I think I can do that.
Yes.
Did we do an actual show in January?
Yeah, we did
Ace
Ace
Combat.
Combat. Yeah.
Oh yes, we did. It just seems like so long ago.
It does feel like
It
a long time
was,
ago.
really.
I think it was about a month now, almost to the quite close to the day.
It wasn't too far. But yeah, Dan,
Hello.
you made it to America.
I did.
I'm so proud of you.
Me too.
And you seem to have enjoyed yourself.
I did. It was a lot better than London. No offense, Tom.
Oh, none taken.
There was a
That's
lot of
fine.
smiling. Dan smiled a lot.
I had an absolute great time. Just ate such good food. We just had such a laugh.
Well,
It
your
was just
guys'
so fun.
trip didn't really start the strongest because prior to the trip, Mike felt it necessary to send a message to everybody saying, nobody gets sick on this trip. And then he and Hazel show up with the second coming of the Black Death.
Yep, and then my eyes were like bollocksed as well.
Oh, God, you guys were a hot mess when you showed up. But I think Tom and I gave you the best American welcoming possible.
Oh, you did.
We just turned up to the airport with just decked out in all American gear. I had the cape. Eric, you had a onesie on, didn't you?
I had an American flag onesie with an American flag bandana, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
had... What else did I have on? Oh, my American flag
Sunglasses,
sunglasses.
The cap. The
Yeah.
cap.
Oh, the
Yeah.
the
Back-to-back
back-to-back.
World War champs.
Yep. No, Tom was wearing that.
No, I was wearing that 'cause
I remember just coming out of the airport, like coming down the ramp, and I was like, oh God, I can see them. they're just like between them just dressed in this most ridiculous of American outfits. They unfurled this huge banner with "Welcome to America." Jock buns, tyke, and basil.
It said Shaba to Tyke, Basil, and Jock Buns. And then we had 50 stars on there that we had written all of the abbreviations for all the states, and then we'd covered it in glitter, we'd colored it in crayon. It started out being like, hey, how can we make this sign look as shitty as possible? And then it ended up looking actually
it
really
did look,
cool.
Yeah, it looked really good in the end.
There was some woman behind you who was going like,
What's it
what
say?"
does it say? What's it say? And they were like, oh, just nicknames.
Just their nicknames.
We can't really get into the whole explanation of
Be there
Well,
all
See,
night.
I felt bad because I didn't even notice straight away. Because side story, our flight from LA to Phoenix, we realized that Becky Lynch, who's basically one of the biggest WWE wrestlers at the moment, was on our flight, and we'd managed to meet her just as we got off the flight. And I quickly jumped on the airport Wi-Fi and was bragging to people back home. So like Dan was like laughing his tits off, and I was he laughing at, and just looking down at my phone, and there you were in all of your glory.
And I told Tom, because it took a lot of convincing to Tom to get in that outfit, because Tom doesn't like to embarrass himself.
It was the hat. It was the hat that was the one that I was like, oh, I don't know if I can walk around here with this hat on that says back to back. But then, because the TSA was like staring at us as well.
Oh,
They were like, what are these guys doing?
look at those people. We got to keep an eye on them. But
Well,
Tom's like, how are you
right.
going to know when they're coming? Because you guys are coming down like a little ramp, and all we could see was like waist down. Like, I will know because Dan has this saunter that he has when he walks. I'm like, I'm going to know exactly when Dan's coming. So I'm just looking at these feet and like, holy shit, here comes Dan. 'Cause I see the legs. And then I saw you like, because I'm assuming you could then only see our feet to our waist. And you saw some American flags and got all excited. And
yeah, the Alka-Seltzer kicked in.
yeah, see?
I'd been travelling for about 6 days by this point and was a hot, tired mess. But
As soon as you saw the first Old Glory.
So good.
Yeah.
That trip though was awful. I mean, we were so we had a bit of a layover in LA, and we walked past the doors at the front of the airport, and Dan was like, "Guys, that's LA out there," and me and Hazel just like, "Come on, we're gonna go find a seat."
It's like a little kid.
I was like,
I don't want to go see
America!
Taste of
I want to
freedom.
go sit down. We had our hands on our heart as we landed in LA.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's good. Did you
I'm
guys
sure we
sing
did.
Did you sing the Star Spangled Banner as you were landing? Because that's tradition.
We wanted to, but we didn't know if maybe any Americans on the flight would get pissed off with a load of English people singing it. So
Now speaking of that particular tune, Eric, we
Alexa?
have to, of course, talk about Alexa welcoming me to your house.
Yes. So as you all know, I have a fairly automated house, and I created a routine for my house to welcome Dan to America. And let me tell you, I'll let you explain it, Dan, because it was quite powerful for you.
He was going to do it when we got there on the night, but this was we got back probably about 12:30, like past midnight, and we didn't think it was necessary right then because we were so tired. But the next morning, he goes, Alexa, welcome Dan to America. And then Alexa goes, can you taste the freedom? And then the lights in the living room turn red, white, and blue, and it starts to play the American national anthem.
You must have created a skill in Alexa to do that.
I did. I had to build a routine
like
for it. Because I have a bunch of those colored bulbs, and I had to individually choose. I want this one to be red, and that one white, and that one blue, and...
So then we took it to the next level by giving me all of the gear that you guys were wearing in the airport. And filming it, and I came downstairs when it all happened in all my American glory.
Oh god, that was so good.
That video was fantastic.
Oh yeah,
you had that salute nailed.
You got the salute.
Oh yeah, I've been practicing.
I told you to, because it'd be important to be able to salute properly.
I did, but honestly, that video is hilarious. I've watched it a couple of times since I got back, and it's still so funny. It's on the Factory Sealed Facebook group if you didn't follow it, because you should.
Where can we find that, Dan? Nice segue, by the way.
I don't know, I forgot. It's on Facebook somewhere, and if you search for Factory Sealed, I'm pretty sure you'll find it.
Okay.
Nice linking.
Yeah, good one.
Nice one, social media manager.
Haven't done any since I got back.
Have you ever done any?
I used to, when I was on my old job and I couldn't be asked to do anything else.
Now he has to actually work.
Oh.
Yeah.
He spends 60% of his day putting your head on things.
This is true.
Yeah, but I've got that down to an art now. I've got a little file which says Eric's head.png, and then you can just paste it on 9 times out of 10, and then you're done. Save the image, post to Facebook. 5 minutes work, really.
Put a couple posts on the Instagram, mainly sharing my love for Tales of Vesperia for Nintendo Switch, which I've been playing a lot of lately.
Oh, yes,
Loving
you got
it.
that from that giant Fry's Electronics store, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so cool to go back to those JRPGs with a world map and large character models that go into tiny little towns, and then it becomes all quaint and there's lovely music and woo! That's what a JRPG is all about for me.
See, Squeenix, that type of RPG isn't dead. Make it again.
Exactly.
You little bastards.
People love it.
Dan.
All right.
Actually, Mike, too, because you'd never been to the States before, had you?
Mm-hmm. No, I haven't.
What was your favorite part of the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Honestly, obviously I only really saw Arizona and Phoenix mainly. I mean, we saw a bit of Sedona, but I found the atmosphere in Phoenix and the people just really, really friendly. Like, people would just speak to you and be really nice to you, and like, because when you came to the UK, like, people don't make eye contact with you. They'd sooner grunt at you rather than talk to you, and it was just. I really, really just enjoyed that, to be honest. It just felt like a very welcoming place, which is really strange to say because this isn't my opinion, but in the UK, a lot of people go, oh, yeah, Americans, oh, they're so arrogant, so brash, so loud, as they do. And I didn't feel that at all. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
And what's crazy is that Phoenix, compared to the Midwest where I grew up, is exactly that in my eyes. It's very short and unwelcoming, and people aren't as friendly. If you go to the Midwest, it's almost like, holy shit, people are too friendly here.
Well, like, a prime example is when we got that pizza at Costco. Me and you went and sat down at the table, and we didn't realise that Dan and Tom's cards both weren't working, and that woman in the queue just paid for your food for you.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
That would not happen in the UK. And if you would say, like, I was the person behind Dan and Tom, and I offered to pay for that for them, like. And, well, let's not use Dan Tom as a bad example, but if you tried to offer to pay for something to someone in the UK like that, they would probably get arsey and say something like, oh, I'm not a charity case. take offense to the fact that you're being that charitable towards them.
You want to fucking pay for my pizza, you slag?
Bare knuckle, bro.
I'll pay for my own fucking pizza. I don't care if my cards don't work. I'll go outside, I will scrimp some change off those people, and I will pay for my own fucking pizza.
But I think the greatest thing about the trip was just how so many things kind of fell into place whilst we were there. So, like I already mentioned, like Becky Lynch. Then, like when we went to the Royal Rumble, there was literally a load of seats in front of us where they'd set up a camera tripod, which then they didn't use. So there was just a load of empty seats in front of us. So that was great as well.
Well, and it kind of worked out too with the tickets too, because we were initially supposed to be way up in the nosebleeds, and then I just randomly called and got our tickets changed to better seats, and then Christy was able to come with us, but. The girls got there with us, and then they had to turn around and go all the way back home, catch an Uber through traffic, go all the way home because they brought their purses, and Chase Field had some clear bag only policy. So instead of throwing away all their stuff.
Hey, at least we got there in the end.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
we saw the whole show because the pre-show was still going on, so when we got in, so...
I tell you what, going into that, I did not care one flaming bit about wrestling at all. And I had a friggin' blast.
He did. He really did.
God.
It was so. That was one of the highlights of the trip for me. You actually enjoying it because I was stood next to you, and I could tell when you first went in you weren't too sure, but by the end you were shouting like the rest of them.
Well, we had those. We had special shirts made for it that. I'm surprised that these actually were printed because they were a blatant copyright issue. All I did was take the Royal Rumble logo and rephrase it to say Royal Bundle, and I even had the WWE and the trademark and everything in there, all the same colors, and all of us were sitting there in our Royal Bundle shirts, and every time somebody new would come out, there'd be the 10-second countdown, and we'd get down to 0 and shout, Bundle! And
there was that guy behind us who asked us what we were shouting, and Eric had to explain.
Did you guys get, like, when you went to the toilet, like, loads of people looking at your shirt really curiously, as if to say, like, what the hell is that?
I noticed it as we were walking by. People like, oh, shit, because they didn't have that exact shirt on sale, so I could see people like, oh, where'd they get that shirt? And it doesn't say Rumble. It was a good time. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think the Royal Rumble's a great event to take people to if they're not a fan of wrestling, because there's so much that you can get involved with. Like, now that there's 2 Rumble matches as well, I think it's just one of those things where you can enjoy it without really knowing much.
Well, I was trying to figure out if the old couple in front of us to the right was enjoying themselves, because never smiled, never clapped, never stood up, just sat there for 5.5 hours.
I don't think they even spoke to each other at any point, did they?
There was the really angry-looking gentleman who was sat next to me.
That guy was a giant.
Oh, I know, but he looked like he was so angry all the time. I was like, please don't kill me.
Oh, he was so big. Well, because then when Christy wasn't there yet, his wife moved over, and you're like, excuse me, miss? Like, we're going to need that seat. She's like, my husband's huge. Leave me alone.
He will destroy you.
Well, the couple the other side of me and Hazel, they stopped talking to us as soon as they realised how loud we were going to be. Because when we were walking through, they heard, obviously, all the English accents. And as soon as me and Hazel got sat down, they said to her, you guys English? And I was like, oh, yeah. And then we got chatting about the wrestling and that we travelled all this way and everything like that. And like, as soon as the actual wrestling started and I was being specifically loud, they just stopped talking to us the entire time.
Shocking!
Mike Towson and loud noises, shocker.
We were loud, but it was fun. Had I known how big of a superstar Becky Lynch was, when we saw her walking back to baggage claim with Tom and me in our get up, I would have said, let it stop and get a group picture with this shit. But no, we didn't.
Well, I knew, but I didn't think you'd care.
Yeah, but you had an ample opportunity here to get a stupid picture with WWE's biggest star.
I already got a picture with her.
But with us! You should have been like, hey, she's a big deal.
Eric.
What?
For literally the first 10 minutes of me being off that flight, it's literally all I spoke about the entire time. You were like, "Oh, welcome to America." It's like, "Becky Lynch! It's just like Becky Lynch!"
It
And then
meant
someone was like, "Oh,
nothing
Mike,
to
how
me.
you
I
doing?"
had no-
Becky Lynch! This is Becky Lynch!
I had
And
no
Hazel was
idea.
like, "Oh, did amazing, we just met Becky Lynch." I was like, "This is Becky Lynch!" Mike, do you want to go get your bag? This is Becky Lynch! Like
Was
that.
Becky
That was the
Lynch-
first
it
10
was
minutes of me
really
being in America.
Was
It was
Becky Lynch
really
on your
strange
flight?
that she was there.
Just flying coach.
Was Becky Lynch on
Yeah.
your flight?
Yeah.
Shut up, Tom.
So when we were
How do you not know this?
when we were sat in the waiting area at LA, like she was sat there and she had a hat on and she had her head down looking at her phone. And I didn't tell Dan or Hazel about it, but I was sat there thinking it was her. And I kept kind of getting up and specifically walking past her to try and figure out if it was her or not. And then we finally got on the flight and she went on first because she was in the quote-unquote first class bit because it was just another bit in front with slightly wider chairs. And because it was only a tiny plane. And I had a quick look as I went past her. And I got there, I was like, "Hazel." Like, when we got sat down, "Hazel." She's like, "What?" It's like, "Don't think I'm stupid, but I'm pretty sure Becky Lynch is on this flight." And she was like, "What? Where?" And I was like, "We need to have a look when we get off." And then, like, just as we were landing, I mentioned it to Dan. And then when we got stood up to get off the flight, there was a guy stood behind near us that had a WWE t-shirt on, and another guy sat next to us at the time. Well, sat in front of us. He saw it and goes, "Oh, you're here for the Rumble." And we all got chatting. And the guy who was sat down was like, "Oh yeah, you noticed that lassie looks well like Becky Lynch on the plane." And the guy behind was like, "No, that's definitely her. That's definitely her." So we rushed off. Proper, like, just eyeballed her as we went past because she was still sat down. Got off the flight, like, "Oh my god, it's her! Oh my god! Oh my god!" Then, like, when we got off the plane, like, the guy who was sat down originally, who said that, you know, there's someone who looks like her, he was out there with us. He's like, "I'm going to get a picture with her." And us being English didn't want to approach her first. We're like, "Yeah, go on, you go first. Go on." And then, like, he went and got his photo, and that was it. I was straight in.
Excuse me.
Nice.
Hi, Becky, I'm your biggest fan. Can I please have a photo? And she was like, "Oh, but yes, you can have a photo, lad."
Nah, she was super friendly. She was super, super friendly.
She
As soon
was.
as she heard we were from the UK as well, like, she proper made time to speak to us.
I made eye contact with her on the plane. I was like, "Oh my god, it's her!"
So now, Becky Lynch, #friend of the show.
There's a lot of hashtags.
She doesn't know
for
this. Doesn't
show.
know the show. Doesn't know the show exists. Which is friends of the show.
Still counts.
Did anybody during the Rumble? Did anybody else think that she looked very similar to Aloy from Horizon?
Yes.
Yeah, she put the braids in her hair around the time Horizon got big.
She used to have a whole kind of steampunk thing going on in the
Yeah.
WWE, which has kind of died off a bit.
Yeah.
But
I can imagine that. I can picture that.
We've seen
Yeah.
her
come out with like used to come out with like aviator goggles on her head and things, and a welding goggle kind of things, didn't she?
Not sure I can
Ziggoggles.
get behind the nickname The Man, but oh well, I can deal with it.
You see it as Mike is sitting there with that t-shirt on.
I completely forgot we were on video because when we first started watching, I found the video really distracting, so I've minimized it. I completely forgot we were on video. Good job, I haven't got my dick out.
Oh no, I have to
I
keep
have.
it open.
I mean, you
I
might
like
do.
staring at
We
you.
just don't know. He can't see below your nipples.
He's making an allusion to that it's really long, Tom.
See, now that we're doing video, we need to make sure that we can see our t-shirts, because then we can approach people and say, "Right, we'll rock your t-shirt on the show." Yes.
Oh, what a surprise.
Look at my
Mega
lovely
Man.
Bowser here.
Who's this?
Bowser.
Mike, get with it. We're on a video game podcast, and you're wearing a wrestling shirt.
Yeah, well, we've just been talking about wrestling for like the last 5 minutes, so it's fine. Got you there, innit? Hey,
I wasn't listening because I was reading a comment from the stream.
Oh, but
Oh.
to
What was
carry
the
on with
comment?
your
What was the comment?
Eric.
Oh, somebody was
All right.
asking on the back of your door, is it Angus Young's short suit hanging on the back of Mike's door?
No,
Oh,
that's
it's Hazel's
Chun-Li.
outfit.
Hazel's Chun-Li outfit. Yeah.
Where's your Tomb Raider pointy bra outfit?
Actually, that specific dressing gown is drying on a radiator over here right now.
See, I'm intrigued by this room in Mike's house because I wasn't allowed in it. Like it's some kind of terrifying sex dungeon thing going on.
Oh no, it's the room of shame.
AKA Sex Dungeon.
No. So what it is, we have 2 spare rooms, but they're both really small, and they're both just filled with shit from when we moved that hasn't been sorted out. So when people stay over and stay on the sofa bed that's in one of the spare rooms, a load of the shit from that room migrates into this room. So it becomes the room of shame with just stuff even worse. So we just don't let the guest in here at the time.
Sounds like an excuse to me.
Yeah, it's where
We had to
keep
get
the
really
slaves.
creative with all of the shit that we had to hide when you guys were all here. That's why I built the sex
Really?
dungeon.
You hid stuff?
Are you saying that I have a lot
yes.
of stuff?
So things all over your house all of the time.
I have children.
My God, like it was tidy, and then the children were back for about an hour, and it looked like a bomb had hit the thing.
Welcome to
No,
kids.
it was like
I don't
10
know what-
minutes.
I don't know what happens to your bed on a morning. Like instead of being nicely made, there was just shit all over it.
Yeah, that's the life with kids.
And after we left, there is a lot of British flags left over.
Yeah.
Here's the tub of what I found. This is a
Oh, that is a very small percentage of the total, Eric. You've got
so
some
far-
finding to do.
There's another one right here. So far there is about 60 in that tub, and I've
Oh,
seen more on a daily
I think
basis.
each pack had about 100 in. We at least opened 3 packs. So,
Jesus Christ.
God. There are some that I'm convinced you'll never find. That you'll then, if you ever sell that place, you'll have to have it as a bullet point, like 5-bedroom, air conditioning, may contain British flags, may contain the monarchy.
Kind of like the ones that you put above your oven grate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I really liked the one I hung from your air conditioning thing in your bedroom.
You guys put the ones on top of the fans, and then that first night I turned the fan on and they come flying off.
Lost an eye.
Yesterday it was 2 days ago it was shockingly cold, so I had to get a heavier jacket out, and I stick my hands in the pocket and there's flags everywhere.
There was one in your shoe.
Yeah, I was wearing a pair of shoes the entire day. Didn't feel anything. Went to put them on again the next day, and something felt a little off. There was a flag in there.
Nice.
That was Lady Catherine, that one.
Brilliant.
She got.
Did
She was
Did your
good.
steps feel more royal?
No. They felt taxed.
Yeah, so Eric has a really large Eric has a
and
really
shackled.
large staircase, so I put a tiny British flag on every stair on either side.
That was
Going up, so it's,
That was a solid 30 flags right there.
I liked that. Every
took
time I went
while.
up the stairs, it felt
I think
good.
it looked really good.
Yeah.
I left it for a few days after you all left. It was a nice reminder.
Does the house
No.
not seem really empty with everyone gone?
It does. Ratchet went through some major depression when you all left.
Oh,
That's probably because he was getting attention like 99% of the time.
Honestly, Ratchet, so did I.
we've got to talk about Tom and this cat, right?
Oh, I love Ratchet. He's like my favorite cat. I think he is my favorite cat.
Bear in
just
mind
this-
that this man is now engaged to a woman called Cat.
Tom,
Yeah,
tell us
just
the
like cats.
story!
Oh, it's up!
Spoilers, Dan. You didn't even let him say it.
I didn't
Dan
know if
loves
you wanted to or
spoiling.
not.
Stole his thunder.
Yeah, on the final day, we went to good old Sedona, which I've been to before, but it was lovely to go to a new part, which we climbed up to the place called the Devil's Bridge, key point of interest in Sedona, and then
The most romantic of sounding places.
yeah, the perfect place for a proposal.
We're gonna die.
And that was where I proposed to Kat. And I wouldn't be telling this story if she said no, so she did say yes.
Factory Seal Wedding 2.0.
It took
Yeah.
a lot of convincing, though, to get her out onto that arch, because
Yes.
it was a long walk. By my misjudgment, I looked at the map and said, "Oh, we can drive right up to the trailhead." No, we had to park a mile away from the trailhead, so we had a very truncated time schedule that we had to adhere to, and everyone was kind of like, "Well, I'm not sure we're going to make it." I'm like, "Guys, let's go. Let's do this. Come on, we got to go. I want to see this thing." And just convince everybody, like, it's a long walk. It's going to suck. Let's go.
Yeah, 'Cause
Yeah.
I had no friggin' idea, me. So I
Yeah.
was just kind of. I
When
was
we
just
got to
trudging
the-
up. I was trudging up this thing, going, "Oh God, I'm hungry."
Oh yeah, we were all really hungry.
Eric gave me a little hint just as we started the trail. He was like, "Oh, when we get there, Tom needs a moment alone with Kat because he's going to ask her something if you get me." And then winks at me and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I knew what was going on.
Well, as we get up to the
Why didn't you tell me, you twat?
because I don't know. You weren't walking by me in that exact moment.
All right.
Plus, it needed to be a surprise for someone.
Yeah.
I was
Not like
I
the
was
other
so
30 people
I
that
was
were
so
there.
shocked I fell off the cliff.
So as we get close to it, it gets to a point where you almost have to start climbing vertically, like 40 or 50 feet up this little cliff, and Kat starts getting a little trepidation about it. And
Yeah.
I was afraid she wasn't going to want to keep going.
Yeah, I didn't think she was. She kept saying to me quietly, like, "I'm not going any further than this. I can't." And I was like, "You kind of." I don't know how I swung it. I think I just kind of went ahead and then just kind of held my hand out, like, "Come on, you can do it. You can do it." I just you just need
Well,
to
then
come
we
out.
all
Come on,
created
just
like a
bit.
barrier between her and the
Yeah,
edge of the
yeah,
cliff.
the
like
edge.
that would stop anything.
I was holding a hand pulling her up the cliff at one point as well.
Well, and then you get
Yeah.
out there and you have to walk across this little. I mean, not little. It's probably about 10 feet wide, but it's a sheer drop off either side. And she's like, "I'm just gonna stand here."
Yeah, and
And then-
admire from afar. I was
I
like,
just
"No,
run out
But
there,
I did-
straddle the
She
thing,
went
Mike
further
runs
than
out.
I did, so I'm
Yeah.
happy for her.
She was pretty anxious out there, but I think she's glad that she did it.
Fair play to you, Tom, doing that in front of all of those people as well. Because there was a good 20, 30 other people up there that we didn't know.
And I
Yeah,
really
like the
wasn't
cliff was like a
expecting
little
that.
amphitheater.
Yeah, I
People
did
just
not
sitting
realize.
there, and as soon as Tom gets down on one knee, you hear this, like somebody just fallen off of a cliff.
Yeah, I was really nervous about that, and I thought, "Oh fuck it, I've got here now." It was a 3.5 mile hike. I just got to do it. I just So yeah, I had people at work say to me like, "Oh yeah, that was really brave to do
Oh
that."
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
kudos to you, man, for doing that in front of that many people, especially all your friends too. That's something.
Yeah,
I chickened out. I asked Hazel at home.
You want to get
Nobody
married?
else around.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
I was-
you want to get married, love?
after
No,
an
actually, Dan, do you remember a conversation that me, you, and Eric were having on the way back down the trail? Because you were saying that you were probably, you're not really that bothered about getting married. You and Crystal were not that bothered about getting married. We said that if we all pay for your wedding, will you get married? But the
I forgot about this.
we get to plan everything.
I'm 100% in on that. I will fund that entire
Yes.
wedding. I will fly everybody there if you have no say. You just get to show up. You wake up, you put on what we tell you to put on, and you show up where we tell you to show up. I will pay for
It's just not
everything.
happening.
Oh
Could
my
we do a
god!
Patreon tier?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
The Patreon tier is going to be even higher than Eric's Kingdom Hearts
No,
thing, which kept
Patreon-
increasing all the time on the live stream.
Right,
If we get to
Patreon tier.
$2,000, you can open Kingdom Hearts. If you're maybe $5,000.
Patreon tier, donate towards the Crystal and Dan wedding, and then you get an invite to it as well.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
yes.
She'd be thrilled. Absolutely.
What were I don't even remember what some of the things were that we were talking about. We were talking about some sort of cake or oh god. I think we got sidetracked by seeing how loud we could get our voices to echo in the canyon.
Oh, yeah. Shouting bundle.
I was listening out for the bundles because I was obviously like several paces behind you guys. We kind of lost you.
I can't
was
believe
Yeah, I
you
reckon
tried-
you. I
hear
reckon
us.
you guys went for a quick bundle in the bushes. To be honest,
They had to consummate
you were
the
way
engagement.
back.
Imagine.
Well, we're going to rent out the Het Town Hall is where that wedding is going to be.
Oh
So
yeah.
we're going to sail around the duck pond afterwards.
That's right. It's going to be. We talked about having to create a township because you can't get married in a certain place that's not authorized to do weddings. So we would go through the whole hassle of getting that place approved to host a wedding and build a gazebo and. You know you want to. Like, I know there's a part of you that's like, that would be friggin' hilarious.
Yeah, I could. I know
It's also a part of me who knows that would end in instantaneous divorce.
It'd be worth it.
fastest divorce in history.
It would be so worth it.
It was like, well, Crystal, if you're not enjoying this, you're not the one for me.
I can't think of a better way to spend my money. and I buy a lot of dumb shit, that would be
I
fun.
do. Speaking of shit, you want to get it over with?
Yes!
Yes.
Yes, I'm so glad you brought it up.
Honestly, Dan,
I'm just rolling with it right now.
I had actually forgotten about that story. So let me tell you what. This was Friday night before we were heading out to meet Jason McGill up at
I'm leaving the room right now.
Cobra Arcade Bar. We had
Can we sidestep for a second? Just want to say it was really, really nice meeting some of the fans while we were out there.
Oh, yeah.
We met Jason McGill on the Friday night, and then on the daytime on the Saturday, we went and had some lunch with Ben Carruth and Mark Marcheschi, and then obviously Zach Foley joined us, and Matt Ernie joined us for the live stream, and it was really, really great to meet all of you.
Yeah, Jason drove down from 3 hours away. Mark came up from a couple hours away. Ben was just down the road. But yeah, it was fantastic to be able to meet. And
it was so surreal. Like, because for us, we're just four guys talking shit. People actually care. It was like, oh my god.
Well, I remember Ben and Mark, when we were sat around the table, they were both like, this is so weird, like, just listening to these voices. we were just like, that's normal for us.
Yeah, that's just what we do.
This happened to me before we even came away, because when we were in Sheffield, we went out with two of Mike's friends who also listened to the podcast. They knew more about me than than I knew would happen. And it was just so bizarre.
They have hundreds of hours of you just talking absolute shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of shit.
So we had an amazing barbecue that Friday night. We did ribs and hot dogs and barbecue chicken with Dan's new favorite condiment, Sweet Baby Ray's.
Sweet Baby Ray.
Dan.
Hey, I did that basting. I was the master baster of that grill.
Oh man, Mike's American Grillin' picture is one of my favorites from the trip.
No, that's a good one.
That's up there. Dan's body decides to adjust to the phenomenal American cooking and have his first fully bred American crap. And we have a bathroom off my living room. And Dan comes out and he goes, Eric, the toilet's not going down. So I come in and my first instinct is, well, try flushing it again. And as I do that, it starts billowing up out of the bowl and spilling, and it won't stop. And we're getting like a quarter inch of piss and shit water all over the floor of the bathroom. And people are rushing are like, holy shit, get every towel in the house. And I've got Matt Ernie handing me single sheets of paper towel. Like, this is going to help anything. And it's just pushing shit water around in a big sloppy mess.
Starts creeping out into the living room and kitchen.
Oh, God, yeah. And then
well, I was hoping straight away that it might have kept it down lower, but as soon as I friggin' told you and the press flush, and then everybody came over, oh, what happened?
Dan, like an embarrassed toddler, like sulks away into the back corner and just kind of like stares from the distance as I'm sitting on the floor.
The internal conflict going on in my mind right then was just...
I'm sitting on the floor in his shit, surrounded by towels, covered in piss, trying to prevent water damage.
I've said this in my defense multiple times. It wasn't even a good shit. It was just a little one. So your toilets really can't take it. But apparently, right, what has happened is Amelia did a particularly impressive turn.
Don't try to blame this on the 2-year-old.
Your wife blamed it on the 2-year-old.
She was trying to make you feel better.
Oh.
It's not
so
my
before
fault
we
that
left,
your toilet can't cope with my Dundee cake.
Before we left, we had to wash every towel in the house.
On like 90 degrees.
Oh, I thought about taking them out back and just lighting them on fire.
Hey, but it wouldn't be a factory sale trip without a toilet story, would it? I mean,
Nope.
I was proud of you, Dan, though. I'm glad it came. Zach was happy that this one came from you and not him, or just somebody else.
Oh, that's another thing we need to talk about as well. Like, I can't get over the ridiculous gaps you have in the cubicles in public toilets. It's like, it's no wonder that kid came to look at Zach. You can practically see through people through the doors anyway.
Like, that guy's feet are sideways. What's going on?
Yeah, but you can. It's like, in England, the gap is probably about an inch or two off the ground. In America, it's like, oh, wow, you can see that guy's head.
What's really weird, and these do exist, is there are some bathrooms where the stall is only like 3/4, so when you're sitting down, you can actually see the person's head sitting there.
Yes, I went in one.
Like a horse.
It was.
Yeah, like a horse.
Oh,
Yes.
that's weird.
There was
That's-
the ones in the airport as well have like a gap on the side of the door, so you can just see people shitting when you walk forward towards them. I was like, what?
Oh my god! At least you guys weren't present for my public toilet story.
No.
You guys were in the other car. So when we were doing, was it the Saturday day time that we all went round and visited all the video games?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, because it was after lunch with Ben Carruth and Mark Marchetti. I'd had a couple of beers at lunch, like quite quickly, and when I need to piss, I have to piss. And I was in the car with Zach and Matt, and I was like, Zach, I'm going to need to piss soon. And he was like, okay, give me a 2-minute warning. And Matt was in the back like, dude, you've just literally been. I was like, no, I will need to go soon. Like, Zach was like, 2-minute warning. I was like, dude, we're already there. We're talking seconds.
Well, and I just gotten my windows tinted, and I couldn't roll my windows down, so we come up to a stoplight, and I see Zach leaning out his window just screaming, Mike's gotta piss!
So Zach drives into this thing and sees like this mall, and I'm like, Zach, when I go inside, I'm going to have to find the toilets. I am not going to make it into there. And he's like, right? He just corner of the car park, like just goes over to the corner of this car park. Well, he says it was a corner. It was still just like clearly visible from the main road. He was like, just piss outside the door. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, go on. I was like, okay, there I am.
You're lucky a cop
Desperate
didn't
for a
come
piss.
by.
Well, that's what I said to Zach as well. And like, open the car door, and there's Matt Ernie like in the back, like just sat there as well. Then I get stage fright, so I'm just stood there at the car door with my dick out for like a good sort of 20 seconds, and then like finally go. And there's just people driving past and walking past with me, just like pissing beside the car.
Hello.
Like Matt Ernie just like sat there in the back chatting to me.
Oh, man. That's
Why
rough.
was the show about so much piss and shit?
Speaking of, I was trying to explain to Crystal about the Eric's Head calendar earlier and all the things in it, and she was like, why is there so many references to toilets? Is that what you talk about? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's... So, yeah, you shared pictures of that. I spent an unnecessary amount of time making that.
Yeah. It's absolutely hilarious. I'll see if I've got it down here, I believe.
I made Dan a calendar.
Anybody is watching the video. So this...
You're going to have to make sure that you hold it very central to your camera because you have a border.
That front image always freaks me out.
It's
yeah.
It's absolutely terrifying. So we're in January now.
Describe it for the audio listeners.
So we've got a picture I made of Eric for birthdays, which we use, where it's Eric sitting at a table with a party hat on, with a little cake, by himself with Mega Man on it.
It's the best birthday right there.
We've got two vintage Erics. We've got vintage Eric in like a shawl, and we've got the vintage Eric family as well.
My favorite aspect of that, though, is every second of the month reminds you that it's the second in a very unique way, Dan. Yes.
February Tui, get it done. March Tui, get it done. I really like this one. This picture.
The gradation.
Well, hi there. I'm just laying some groundations, but sure, I could take some time to tell you about Mega Man. Yeah, but he's filled it with really stupid dates all the way through. So, for example, New Year's Day, check PS Plus for Pro Controller. The 5th of January, Desert Punting Day. 7th of January, travel to Australia. And all the way through, it's like, go to Australia again.
Seriously.
Leave for Australia for a last time. And I quite like these. When there's big game releases, it's like, for example, Resident Evil 2 Remake release date, then the day after, it's add Resident Evil 2 Remake to Christmas list. Also, January the 28th, complete Kingdom Hearts 3. January the 29th, Kingdom Hearts 3 release date.
I like December. The 1st of December is one of my prouder moments.
Let's have a look at this.
because as you know, Dan's birthday is in December.
Oh, yes. Sunday the 1st of December is beginning of Dan Mode month.
Puts it on easy.
Yes. The 5th of December is Shabba for the French toast.
Yo, you guys got to experience Shabba French toast.
We did. 27th of November, Have I Fallen Over Day.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Oh, but Jeremy Sanford, holy cow, he sent us a treat. He sent us a treat. He sent me a box that I knew was going to have something in it for Mike and Hazel because he had sent a game for them. But
Yeah, he sent Detroit for Hazel. Thank you very much for that, Jeremy.
I asked him if I could open it. He's like, or if I should wait. And he's like, you should probably wait. Not knowing quite how to read that. Before we head out, we open this box from him, and inside is this photo album, very similar to the calendar, but it's called The Rise and Fall of Eric. What is it, Dan? A picture novel?
Did somebody say Mega Man? The Rise and Fall of Eric, an art book. so that's it. That's it there.
And it's essentially the same thing, but it tells this fabricated story. And apparently, he had all these pictures laid out on the counter, and his wife.
So
his wife is like,
should I read the story out?
Yes, you shall.
Okay. So it starts thusly. Born Eric Starnsworth Mega Man IV, Eric had an infatuation with Mega Man from birth. He came from a large family of Mega Man fanatics. And on that one, it's got the picture of the Mega Man family. The Eric's Head family. He also had an unmatched love for America. His first words were Mega Man in 1776. And we've got Hulk Hogan, Eric there.
You get it, Dan? 1776? You know what that means?
I still don't know. Oh. Eric loved to party and celebrate Mega Man, so we've got the Mega Man summoning dance picture there. Everywhere he went, he would sing the praises of Mega Man, and we've got Eric doing a little ditty on a piano. You said you hadn't even seen that one, didn't you?
No, I must have
I've never
missed
seen that one.
And would even go so far as to kill anyone and anything that didn't join in. And then he's got a picture of Eric shooting horses.
I love that one.
That's me.
He even took a wife, however she quickly grew tired of his incessant ramblings. Just a woman looking really miffed with Eric next to her.
I love
He's
that
got
one.
no neck. Is he?
So he hatched a plan to get rid of her by feeding her to a bear. And then got the bear on the dodgems.
Wait, what do you call those?
Dodgems.
Bumper
Not-
cars.
The Dodgems, mate.
Dodge
He
him.
took
You
a
have-
job with the local police to try and hide his hideous crimes. This is my favourite. The really tall policeman with Eric's head. His plan was foiled though, and he was locked away. The end.
Yeah, but the last picture.
Or is it the end?
Mega Man. So yeah, we had
There's
some.
a picture of me as a policeman for some reason.
Hell yeah. We had some great things sent to us.
That's the last bit. That's the last picture.
Aside from that, Juliet sent us a box of treats.
Oh, Juliet,
Oh.
you kitchen wizard.
Oh, part of me secretly hoped that she would be sending that because she asked for my address, like, hey, I want to send you guys something. And I'm like, please be cooking, please be baking, because she sent Zach baking for Secret Santa, and he's like, that I hid that from my kids and I hoarded it. So
Brilliant.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
that was
it was so good.
yeah.
Thank you, Juliet. We really appreciate that.
It didn't
It
last
was
long
amazing.
at all.
Oh, no.
No, it's demolished.
That was just another one of the amazing things that happened with the fans while we were away. Like it was so humbling to have people do those kind of things for us, and it really was. Like I was not expecting it at all, and I just we laughed so much at that Jeremy Sanford art book. It was just so funny.
Well, Zach,
Well, it
Just
was
not expecting.
go ahead.
I was going to say it was the same with Matt and Zach. I think we were going in the same direction there, Eric. Because we were buying like liquor, and I saw this huge bottle of Bullet Bourbon, which is one of my favorites. And Matt was like, "I'm going to buy you this." And I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Because I want to buy you this." Okay. And then like Zach also got us all gifts, didn't he? He got us all like separate gifts.
He did.
And big thank you to Zach for my. He got me an AJ Styles Funko Pop, like signed by AJ Styles himself, which I absolutely adore.
And
Which
he got
is
me
amazing.
a Kingdom Hearts 2 mug, and it's So Nice the Hedge Pig Minaya Collectibles Edition.
He got me a willy warmer. Which
It's
is
ironic, because he doesn't have one.
which I've not used yet. I'm
How do you know it
I
wasn't
like
used
how,
before he gave it to
I like
you?
how you're looking down just to check there while talking about it.
Yeah, I just wondered if I had it. I'm just giving it
Is it there?
giving it a grab. It's been cold enough for it, but I just haven't got around to
Got a
it yet.
penis.
Yes.
Yeah.
that's the one.
The smooth area lets you down there, my friend.
I like how inconvenient Zach's gift was to you, Dan.
Oh yeah, it was the biggest gift he could have got.
Oh, it was
I had to
great.
take it out of the box in the end.
Which is a shame, because that box was awesome.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have put the box out though. I haven't actually found a place to put the statue yet because I have that much crap in this room.
He brought me
But,
a Super Famicom without controllers or cables, so I had to find... Apparently, the first generation Sega Genesis Power Block works with the Super Famicom. So as I was plugging it in, I was afraid I was going to turn it on and just start seeing smoke or some frying noises and something just not work. But then he got me a few Game Gear games, and I think that was it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can hear the cogs turning.
Yeah. Oh, Matt Ernie.
Cogs
That's
are
what I was
turning.
thinking about. Matt Ernie got me
His eyes are moving. They've stopped.
a copy of Link's Awakening that had been redone into a Super Nintendo cartridge with the box and a full map, and basically they had taken the game and stuffed it inside a Super Game Boy, pulled that out and put it back inside of a Super Nintendo cartridge and made it look like an actual Super Nintendo game. So that was super
So
neat.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Very good people.
Yeah.
Very good trip. 1 out of 5 stars. Not shit.
Not
Also, can we please talk about the food? Oh my god! No, wonder you're
because
all.
it makes me want to go back. 'cause
No
it was
wonder you're
so
all
good.
fat.
But we're not.
Ugh.
Look at me. I'm not fat.
Actually, yeah, I actually saw very few fat people.
Well, I didn't
It's
take
probably
you to
because
that.
the heat in Arizona.
Oh, I saw a couple of big mamas in Walmart.
And we took you to one of the lesser Walmarts,
Yeah.
like a micro
Walmart.
Walmart.
Just like being in the UK and Asda, but with American stuff.
I think I scared Tom with our trip to Ghetto Walmart a couple years ago, so I was reluctant.
Yeah,
to
that
take
was
you
something.
there.
Ghetto Walmart is something else.
But Mike, talk about the food.
Oh man! So my three highlights. One, Portillo's. When we went to the Kind of Funny meet and
yeah.
greet. Oh my god! So I got a sandwich stuffed with like beef and Italian sausage and like hot peppers and all that, dipped in motherfucking gravy.
Not dipped,
Oh my god!
submerged.
Submerged in gravy. Oh my god. And that was great. And I was like, it's not getting any better than this. And then when we were in Sedona, Eric took us this sandwich shop that he took Tom and Kat to last time, and Tom and Kat wanted to go there again. And they had this hot sandwich that was like hot meat and cheese, and it was grilled. And oh my!
I don't think you believed
Honey-
Tom and
honey
I
in
when we
there as
told
well.
you how much
Yeah,
meat.
it was honey butter, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
you believed Tom and I when we told you how much meat was going to come on those sandwiches. And you were facing the door, and as he came out, your first reaction was, "My God, how big are these sandwiches?" It's like 4 inches of meat.
Yeah. And like Hazel was eating hers for the next 3 days.
That's just what Hazel does. She brings everything home and then just carries on having like a 4-day meal.
Stores food like a hamster.
Yeah.
So that was 2.
then-
What was the third?
Third, Tom, you missed out on this, but on the last day after you guys had flown out, Eric took us down to this little like barbecue brisket place. It was like a 5-minute walk from his
shit.
house.
Oh, nice.
So good.
Nice.
See, Eric,
So good.
Eric, for me, probably one of the top ones was actually Four Peaks Brewery as well. I
Really?
loved that.
Oh.
I thought the food was lovely.
Oh yeah, 4
was
Peaks is
so good.
fantastic.
Oh yeah,
I
we got
couldn't,
the same.
I couldn't even finish it, but it was so good. The chicken was just so nice.
The hedge pig?
The hedge pig.
Ah.
Yes, the hedge pig.
Get it, Dan? Get it?
So
No.
nice. Oh god. So nice, the hedge.
Mike came away from this trip with a really big confidence boost based on how much Tom laughed at him.
Oh God! No matter how shit my jokes are, Tom laughs every single time.
Really does.
So unlike
Me
the
and
first-
Eric are in the background like, oh no.
Do you know what it
the
is?
first full day that we were there, I was still really ill, but I'd got to like a delirious stage, and we were walking around Costco, and I was just making the ultimate dad jokes as we went round, and Tom pissing himself laughing at every turn.
Heart
Do
of
you know
Palms,
what
a
it?
delicious
Do
treat.
you know what it is? Canadians have they're lovely people, but they don't. They have a sense of humor, but it's just so different from ours. So just they don't do dad jokes here. That's just not a thing. So just anything. I was like lapping it up. This is great. This is just like home. This is just like home. I was like really. I was just really homesick for bad jokes, and there's some good ones as well. There's some good, they're not all bad.
Eric's just kind of mentioned it, but we met an actual NPC in real life.
Oh God, this guy.
There was this guy in Costco giving out free samples of hearts of palms, which I'm led to believe were like the insides of like palm trees. And he, I'm questioning Eric, is that right?
I don't know. I made that shit up.
Oh.
It could be right.
Oh,
Oh,
anyway,
I thought you were being serious.
oh,
When am I
he was giving
serious?
he was giving samples out, and he was there
Yes,
in
it's
like a beard
it's right. I
snood
guess
and a
right.
hat.
It's the edible bud of a palm tree.
Oh, there you go. And he was like giving out these free samples, and like he was there with like a proper like
Hairnet?
making sure I'm being hygienic, like hairnet, then like paper hat, and then like a beard snood over his face and an apron, almost looked like a surgeon. And like he just like I went up to it, it's like, oh, free samples. I'm in America, need to try stuff. And I was like, oh, what's this? And he just goes, heart of palms, a delicious treat. I was like, okay, what is it? Heart of palms, a delicious treat. Like, okay, what is it? Heart of palms, a delicious treat. And I was like, okay, and wandered off. And then we walked past him like several times afterwards. And, like everyone going up to him, he was just saying the same thing over and over and over.
Do you think he gets punished if he deviates?
I don't know.
He hasn't been upgraded to the second tier of dialogue yet. He hasn't.
If you talk,
proven himself.
yeah, if you talk to him 50 times, you unlock New Game Plus.
Palm of hearts, the treat delicious. That's when he's broken.
You go around the corner as another member of staff, you talk to them and they're like, oh, the king has invited all of the royals from across the country. And round the corner there's another one. Oh, an axeman, are you? I favour a sword myself.
Costco's a special place.
I used to be an adventurer like you, trying to get sweet Peavy Rears, but then I took an arrow to the knee.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Dear.
So I think that's America. And
Yeah.
I think more things will probably come up as the
Yeah.
shows go on, but
I think it's
What a
important to
time,
note
what a good time.
who won the video game challenge handily.
yeah, because somebody forgets what button is jump in Mario.
Oh man, watching back that video, oh, that was brilliant. You didn't even make it past the first Goomba.
yeah.
You know what the real sticker is about that as well? We frigging practiced it before we came away.
And we were actually really good at it, weren't we?
Yes.
The pressure, there's the pressure on the day, right?
Then I just completely forgot that old school Mario uses A to jump rather than B.
Damn it.
I'm never forgiving him for that. Really.
Sorry.
The Mario
Well-
3 challenge is probably the most fun.
Oh, the joystick one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you watch any of that video, that is the bit I would definitely recommend.
I mean, watch all of it because
Beat
it's
the-
all great.
Beat Saber
Yeah.
Saber's quite fun as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Watching Matt Ernie play it for the first time ever on Expert.
I like the first, like when who went first? I think it was Dan.
Me.
Oh no, Tom went first, and Matt sits in the back, and his immediate reaction, like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
Because he'd never seen it before.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you got...
I can't even remember doing it at the time, but I think Tom's in it, and I'm doing the actions with him in the background.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
even-
And I'm just pelvic thrusting.
So
Oh yeah,
good.
there's that bit with me and you, Eric, like either side of Matt while he's playing it, thrusting
Yeah.
towards him.
Oh yeah.
deeply disturbing.
You know what game? Side note. You know what game we played at Cobra Arcade Bar that I really want to actually find a copy of, or maybe just do as a side for the show is Splatterhouse.
I was about to say Splatterhouse, yeah.
Jason McGill whooped our ass in that game.
He got the top score, yeah.
Oh man.
Speaking of Cobra Arcade Bar, can we just mention about how fucking good Dan is at Dance Revolution?
It's unnecessary.
Why are you so fucking good at it?
I used to play it a lot when I was younger. Like when we'd go on holiday and things to arcades and things like Butlins and things like that. Used to play a Dance
He'd
Revolution.
be the weird kid at birthday
Me and my friend
parties.
used to be able to a certain song. We used to be able to get like fully flawless dance on it. Like both of us at the same time.
Like, Dan, I'm shit at DDR, but like out of the four of us, if I had to guess who was best at DDR, it would not be you.
It'd be me. It'd be me.
Why?
I don't know. Like, it just doesn't seem like your thing. I know you like rhythm games, but dancing ones?
I love a bit dance.
Yeah.
No,
That's impressive.
I'm just any game plonk it in front of me, I'll finish it.
Well, then
Before
it
it's even out.
froze, and Matt Ernie decided to use his foot to try to fix it.
Yes, he kicked it quite hard.
Jesus. Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only regret about the trip is we didn't come for longer.
Yeah. I told
Yeah.
you guys, come for a little more time.
You were the one who found the flights!
You told me we could only be there for 7 days.
That does sound like me.
Does. Back to Cobra. The girls also had to... No, you guys had to go home and get your passports. We were really unprepared for a lot of the places that we went.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't like...
They won't take driving licenses as ID. So
Well, unless they were Canadian or US. Like, I don't feel comfortable going out to a bar or a club with my passport with me in a foreign country.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't bring it with me, and I had to go back and get it.
I didn't take mine out with me when we were in England.
Yeah.
Because nobody
we
carded
don't
me.
Yeah, we're not. It's not
Was
strict.
the,
What?
what?
You said something.
Oh, did I?
I don't know. Did you?
My bad.
I'm pretty sure I heard words in Tom's voice.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
Yeah.
Maybe I said something, but then I stopped.
But yeah, in short, it's been rough getting back to the normal routine without a house full of people.
Yeah, it's weird going back to work and things like that.
Is it weird
My
going...
jet lag has been a bitch.
Yeah, are you finally out of that?
I caught
think
the Black
so.
Death.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
I
the
had,
Black Death has hit this house hard.
Yeah, I got the snots and a cough for one day, then that went away, and then I've just had phlegm ever since.
Ellie
Just
finally
delightful.
caught something, and she was out of school on Wednesday, and Christy, in 13 years we've been together, I've only ever seen her call out sick to work twice, and
Wow.
this week she called out Thursday and Friday.
Wow.
In about a month, will you let us know if like half of America's died off because Mike's given them the Black Death?
Suck that, 1776. But yeah, she's had 102 fever for 4 straight days, and it's just been rough.
Jesus. I didn't go to work on Monday because Sunday night, so I was due to start work at 5 a.m. on Monday, and I did not sleep a single minute over Sunday night to Monday morning, and I got to like 3 a.m. I was like, I can't go and drive a lorry when I've literally not been asleep yet. My alarm was set to go off at 3:30. And I
Love
got to
those
3 o'clock and
messages
was
you
like,
gave us updates like alarm goes off in 3 hours, guys. Haven't fallen asleep. And then it's like alarm goes off in 30 minutes. Maybe I should call it.
Well, I ended up getting to a point because sometimes when like you just put a film on or something, you can fall asleep to it. I did. My iPad was on my bedside table next to me, so I put a film on, and I was like, "Oh, I'll easily drift off to this." Ended up watching it to the end, and I was like, "Oh, I'm still awake."
That's me on a plane. Like I'll put a movie on, and I'm like, right, I'll fall asleep to this, and then I'm like, right, I've watched all that now. So I haven't been jet lagged at all though. I've been straight back on.
I get up much earlier than you, and generally have
Yeah,
less
you do.
sleep. But this week I have felt awful, absolutely awful.
I did when I got back from Australia, but thankfully this time I've been okay.
Jet lag didn't bother me at all.
Yep.
Because you didn't leave your house.
Actually, the worst thing for me was landing and then being stuck on the plane for 2 hours because the weather was so bad. And then when we actually got off the plane, it was minus 37 degrees Celsius.
Shit.
And I had a thin
I
jacket
can't even
on,
imagine how that feels.
and all Cat had was a jumper, and we had to wait for a taxi. It was really bad.
Yeah, that rock on her finger was probably keeping her warm.
Dan, will you finally admit that the winters here are lovely?
They are quite nice, yes. In all seriousness, I had a really good time. As you said, I was smiling a lot, so
And-
I enjoyed myself.
You didn't open a single game. I'm proud of you.
Did I not?
Fuck you.
Imagine.
I haven't.
Did I not?
I have not firmly checked Kingdom Hearts.
It may just be wrapped up conveniently.
Well, I looked for Kingdom Hearts because I stayed in your office on the airbed, and the first thing I did when I went in there to sleep on the first night was looked where Kingdom Hearts 2 was, and it wasn't, because all your games were in alphabetical order, and it wasn't there, and I was like, he's hidden it, he's clearly hidden it, and then it wasn't until like the next day when I mentioned to Eric that he'd hidden it, he was like, no, it's just on the shelf above. I was like, why?
Because I put it up high enough where I didn't think Dan could reach it.
He's not a midget.
I don't know. He's a hobbit.
I'm like about 3 inches smaller than you.
Well, I put it 3 inches above your reach.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of games.
Oh, a game came out while we were... Two games came out while you guys were here.
We would be amiss if we didn't talk about Resident Evil 2.
Oh.
You're right there, Eric?
Just got a little excited. Felt a little...
Oh, zombies. Oh, zombies.
Felt a little tingle
Ooh.
in my nethers.
Heart of Palms. Delicious treat.
Resident Evil. Ooh.
Ooh. Oh boy, what a remake.
Oh. You played through a good chunk of it here.
Yeah, I did.
Because you'd wake
And then
up at like
started-
4
'cause I
in
played
the
on
morning.
Xbox Home.
And I watched him.
And I didn't.
He was scared. Yeah, well, I played through Claire's scenario first, then Leon's scenario second. So while I was at yours, I thought, well, if I play Leon for a bit, it won't be ruined too much. But it looks glorious on Xbox, Eric. Looks really, really good.
Well, apparently they'd fixed a lot of the issues that people were encountering on the PS4 version during the one-shot demo. A lot of the anti-aliasing stuff.
definitely.
So I think it looks fantastic on both. It's
Oh,
just,
yeah, it does for sure.
I forgot to cancel my pre-order for it, and it showed up on PS4 from Amazon. I'm like, well, I can't really be bothered to send this back and buy another version, so I'll stick with it.
So-
Eric's daily package at his house, literally every day.
God. Half the time I don't even know what it is.
No, you didn't. You really didn't.
You're like, oh, I ordered Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts, I'm not playing this one.
Just put it straight up on the shelf. I was like,
Dan asked me, he's like, hey, can I see the box? And part of me is going, please, God, don't open this because I'm not going to keep this. There was actual reluctance to hand it to you. But you contained yourself.
yeah, I did.
But anyway,
He
Resident
didn't
Evil
bring the sword
2,
with him.
like Mike said, this is how remakes need to be done.
Oh, for sure. I've mentioned on the show before that Resident Evil 2 is one of my favourite games ever, and they have done this justice. They really have.
It's almost less of a remake and more of an actual reboot or a reimagining.
Yeah. I mean, they've kept a lot of the core things. I mean, some of the puzzles were still quite similar.
There's zombies.
but-
You're in a
It's
police
they're
station.
properly revisiting survival horror, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like
yes. This is one of the
that's what I
scariest
love
games
about
I've ever
it.
played.
I've never played it, obviously, but I've just watching you play it. I can tell it's about inventory management and not wasting your ammo, Eric. And
I didn't waste a single bullet. Every
like
bullet
some
was well
backtracking
spent.
and
Well spent. And I got to
how
the
are you
end
finding
of the
that
game.
B scenario?
Not good. Not good.
Okay, well, speaking of the scenarios, right, because I want to ghost attack a little over this game, I want to get a real big negative out of the way that has stopped this being a 10 out of 10 game for me. So, if you've never played the original Resident Evil 2, what used to happen was you could start on either disc. You could start with Leon or start with Claire. And there was an A scenario for each character and a B scenario for each character. The idea being that whilst you're doing Claire's A scenario, after you beat that, you get Leon's B, and Leon's B is what Leon was doing whilst Claire was doing her bit. Or you can do it the other way around. So what Leon was doing during A, which will be similar to Claire's A, you then get Claire's B, which is basically what she was doing storyline-wise whilst he was doing his A. And there were the kind of canon way that's generally seen as canon is do Claire then Leon, which is why I did that in the new one. But in the original, when the two scenarios were kind of going at the same time, there were story beats from each one that made sense the other way around. So things to do with like character Annette Birkin, there was like points where you'd meet her in between after meeting, like she'd obviously met Claire, and Will Birkin, who's the boss of it, you would see certain parts of his transformation on one scenario and see other parts of his transformation on the other one, and he was obviously progressing through his metamorphosis into the huge hulking creature that he is. The difference in the scenarios in this, very, very minimal, and you very much face the same bosses as well, apart from near the end. So, like, you face the same form of Will Birkin. You meet Annette, and you pretty much have the same conversations with Annette, rather than being kind of her a bit further on in the story. And it really, really bugged me, because that was such a wonderful thing in the first one. Well, there wasn't any spoilers. Well, you have a conversation with Annette. Oh, no. And that really put a damper on it for me.
I love how much that winds you up.
It's because you're an idiot. But yeah, that has been my only criticism of it, that they aren't different enough. But Eric, I'm really looking forward to you playing through the second scenario B, because I found it much harder.
Yeah, me too. So my initial approach to this game, Tom, you mentioned this is a lot about inventory management. I didn't really have a whole lot of issue with it. I remember in the original, you'd come across stuff, you're like, well, shit, I've only got 4 spaces. I need to leave this herb here and come back for it later, or this ink ribbon or whatever, and then go to the
fucking herb, you goon.
The box. It's not. It's an herb. Go to the box and drop stuff off more often, but
yeah,
it seems like you were constantly getting an additional hit pack to expand your inventory out to what was the maximum, 16, something like that. But
no, it wasn't that many.
It was either 12 or 16.
So. 8 or 10.
Oh, it could be close to 16.
I think it was 16 because you got
what?
4
yeah,
packs.
Possibly.
Because it was
in the original.
No, in the remake.
Oh, the remake.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
But
I was gonna say
the health I found was very scarce, and usually with a playthrough of a new Resident Evil game, I'm a little more liberal with my health than I probably should be. As soon as I hit that first tier of orange or yellow caution, I'm like, heal up, gotta be in green.
Orange.
Which sucked because then
use my herbs to get out orange.
Towards the end of
use my handgun.
You done?
Is there any octopuses in this game?
Oh my god, here we go. Towards the end of being in the police station, when I'll get to this in a minute in my opinion about Mr. X, I was running around on complete red, where even a zombie would look at me wrong and I would die, and there was no other health left in the station. So I was mismanaging my health quite heavily. Bullets, not so much. There was the occasional time where I was running low on grenades and stuff like that, but I felt like they were very generous with items in this versus the original.
Yeah, I'd say that. I mean, they have a thing on it, a new mechanic with the herbs. So on the originals, you could use the green herbs mixed with the red herbs, and the blue herbs mixed with the green herbs. But you couldn't take blue by itself, and you couldn't mix the blue with just the red. So they have a thing on this where you mix the blue and the red together, and you get an extra bit of defense for a while. Yeah. And then there's also, you can mix the green with that. So you put a green, a red, and a blue together, you get maximum health restored, and then you get your defense for a while. And pretty much every single herb that I got, I made sure I kept and saved and used the green, blue, and the red together and saved those 4 bosses. But yeah, they were quite liberal with them. I went into like the final boss with like 3 or 4 of these like 3 herb mixtures.
Wasn't the blue intended to remove poison?
Yes.
Never once got poisoned. What the hell was the point of that?
The things that can poison you is the large creatures in the sewer.
Yeah.
They can poison you. Yeah, they can poison you.
Never came across that. But
yeah.
Mr. X, let's talk about him for a second, because yes, he is an integral part of Resident Evil 2. He shows up much earlier in this game than in the original. And he sticks around for a lot longer. I did not enjoy this mechanic. I know, Mike, you and I were going kind of back and forth on this, but I guess there's really no way to say it without spoiling it, but he tracks you around the entire police station for a massive amount of time. And it just kind of... It becomes... it becomes annoying. It's really neat for the first little bit because you can hear him stomping around, and if you have surround sound, you can be in a room and you'll just hear his and you can't really tell where it's coming from. And if you walk out the door and boom, he might just be right there, or you come around the hallway, or you can see him walking in the distance. So he's just patrolling, but it's also kind of cheap in the fact that you can be on one side and you can watch him go to the other side of the station, and you can go into like the library and then come out the other side of the library and boom, he's there. He just teleports to that side. So it just, for me, it took away from the aspect of survival horror, and it's more like, okay, this idiot's chasing me constantly. And I just kept...
What you're saying is they played their Nemi card too quickly.
Yeah, and even they overdid it. Nemesis was great because it wasn't constant. There was that tension of like, when is he going to show up? It's not he's going to show up. X was just always there.
Yeah, so in Resident Evil 3, there was very, very specific parts where Nemesis would show up. You could go to a certain part of the game and you would know he is just not going to be there. Mr. X will appear in pretty much 99% of the police station. Like, there's very few rooms that he won't come in.
Well, he won't.
He does track you for ages.
Jesus, Dan.
But the thing is, I enjoyed it. Like, I know you had a bit of trouble with it, Eric, because you got stuck on a puzzle. So you ended up traipsing around the police station a lot longer than I did. But I really liked it. I liked the urgency of it. Like, I knew it was very funny because when I was playing it at yours, I was constantly in and out of my map. I need to go here. I remember this is here. This is here. And Kat was watching me, and she was like, I don't mean this as a dig at you, Tom, but she was like, Tom never plays games like this. He kind of just goes for it. He doesn't like meticulously look at the map or anything like that. So I was...
Tom and I are kindred spirits
Eric
in a way.
approach.
Yeah, Tom and I are kindred spirits. Everything dies approach. By the time I left the police station, there wasn't a single zombie or licker left alive.
And I was meticulously going around like that, so I knew... I was always remembering where I needed to be next and looking at the map and where to go. So Mr. X for me wasn't an inconvenience because I wasn't searching where to go. I knew where I was going. It's just that he was a hazard on the way, and it made the game feel more urgent. And
maybe I didn't enjoy it as much because I didn't have the health where he would come up and he would just rock your world with one punch, and I was running on red health for a long amount of time, and I knew that if I run into him, I'm either going to burn through all my acid and flame rounds just to get him to go into passive mode so I can get around him, or I'm going to get hit and die and lose a bunch of progress.
Yeah.
You know what? Have you seen that clip that somebody shared on the Facebook group where he's stomping towards them and she pulls out a rocket launcher and he just kind of like turns around as if to say, okay, I'm sorry.
I like the mod where somebody put anytime Mr. X shows up, it's DMX, X gonna give it to you.
But yeah, kind of to wrap up Resident Evil 2, I am a huge, huge fan of the original, and they have done this justice. There's enough here to keep brand new gamers satisfied who's never touched it before, and there's enough there that links back to the old game that people like me, who is such an important game for them, you enjoy it because of the callbacks.
It's incredible how much content is here.
Do you think you'll get it, Dan?
Maybe. Might poo me knickers, but possibly.
Put it on the Christmas list.
Mike, you and I probably
Still
share
catching up with my games from Christmas, man. Kingdom Hearts has just come out.
Mike, you and I probably share some of the same nostalgic value for Resident Evil 2, and I was nervous coming into this because anytime they take a series and they completely overhaul it, there's a chance they're going to completely mess it up. And
oh yeah, I was concerned about this, especially when I first saw the game footage. I was concerned that it looked a bit too much like Resident Evil Revelations 2, which I briefly played and didn't enjoy. I loved the first Revelations, but the second one I didn't enjoy it at all. I stopped playing it a few hours in.
Too many Revelations. Too many.
Exactly. And I was concerned that it looked a bit too much like that. So I was worried going in, but once that one-shot demo hit and I played that, I was like, woohoo, I am on board.
I still
Nice.
am not completely sold on the new character models, and Leon's voice acting is so bad.
Oh,
It's rough.
I think with him, like, the actual voice actor isn't great anyway, but I think the thing with him that they wanted to do, because in the original Resident Evil 2, the age he's supposed to be, and then obviously he ages a bit in... It's obviously a few years later for Resident Evil 4. I think what they've tried to do, not necessarily successfully, is tried to make Leon seem his actual age on this one rather than older than he is, like in the original. And I think by doing that, they've accidentally made him a bit whiny.
Yeah.
I like it
I
how
think Claire's
Claire's
character model's great.
I like it how about 9 times out of 10 when he shoots a zombie, even though he's like knows from experience that even if you shoot them in the head, they won't die. They go, what the hell?
Oh, he still does that to the end. I like Claire's character model though, although they made her ass smaller.
Yeah, but it was a
So that's nice to
great
look at.
view
Shame.
for 7 hours.
God
And
damn it!
I like me a big ass, and well, they disappointed me.
that's fair. I get it.
Thing is though,
bit of
right?
junk in the trunk.
Yeah, a bit of junk in the trunk. Speaking of the zombies, though, the one of the greatest things that they've done with this game, I mean, when we spoke about the one-shot demo, I spoke about the use of light that makes it so eerie, and the way everything looks so like a weird way to put it. Everything looks so wet. Like it looked like all the walls and everything. Yeah. And that, with the use of shadows and use of light, creates such an amazing atmosphere, and the graphics look incredible. But the greatest thing that they've done with it is the zombies are an actual threat all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
Spoilers.
So, the zombies all the way through. What a spoiler! They're an actual threat all the way through. So with other Resident Evils, once you start getting the more powerful weapons and things like that, they start trading out the zombies for other monsters, so like hunters, lickers, things like that. And they do that because the zombies are no longer really a threat to you because of the weapons you have. On this, every single zombie you meet is a threat. There is a bit later on the second scenario where you kind of think, this isn't spoilerish really, but you encounter some zombies even after the final boss, and even they are still a threat to you.
Jeez.
And that to me is like shows how great this game is, that even just the bog standard enemies to the very end are always a threat all the way through.
Can I?
Yeah, games
so,
like-
Oh, go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to say games like Resident Evil 2 Remake, or even just the Resident Evil series in general, like the first bunch, and any games like Bloodborne and the Souls games, that if I have to be careful, then I will plan, and I get a lot of value out of that. It's worth doing. But if a game lets me get away with just shooting everything and just blazing through, and I can pull it off, then I tend to do that.
Fuck yeah.
There's
That's
just some
how I
games
play
where
Metal
you just
Gear,
cannot
too.
do it. Yeah. Oh, Metal Gear is another good example. Yeah.
Hitman.
I always
So-
try to be meticulous, then it ends up going to shit, and I just end up shooting everything.
Hitman.
So
Hitman is a
Yeah.
prime example of
That's-
just, I will kill the target and anybody else's collateral damage.
Yeah. But
You
I
see,
feel
my
really bad
attitude
when I do
towards
that.
games like... You feel bad? Why?
Not on a moral level. just like that I've kind of not taken advantage of all the game has to offer. Like, so Hitman is a really good example because you can finish those scenarios. I think that not the most recent Hitman game, but the one that's just being given away on PS Plus has 5 huge scenarios with like a ton of different ways that you can take down the target. There's different disguises you can wear. You can use different weapons and gadgets. You can plan it in all these different ways. Or you can just run guns blazing and kill the target, and done. You've completed the whole thing. And that's a whole scenario with a whole map that you can explore that you've just not taken the time to enjoy. So yeah, you can get more enjoyment and value out of a game.
yeah,
if
there's
you
so many
play it the way it's meant
meticulous
to be
things you
played.
can do on that game. It's crazy,
Yeah.
but
I recommend
don't
you
think I
guys
would
try
have
it.
the time.
Thing is,
Yeah.
using like Metal Gear as an example, like
Metal Gear.
you say that if you can, you'll run a gun in Metal Gear, but the way I see it is there are enough games where I get to run and gun and kill everything. So
Yeah.
like, this is just how I
Yeah.
play it.
No, I
There's
say
enough
I'm the same
games
as Metal
for me
Gear.
where I can do that. So why don't I actually take the advantage of playing a game where it's wanting you to play it differently and have that fun playing, using the stealth aspect rather than running and gunning like I can with any other title.
I think
Yeah.
I enjoy the aspect of playing the game the way it wasn't meant to be played. You're not supposed to run through. It's designed.
The Eric life mantra.
It's designed for you to take advantage of the stealth. So when you break that mechanic, it becomes inherently more difficult.
Yeah, and I've heard that like developers quite enjoy finding how different people play their games. Like they've gone off the beaten path and done it completely. It's like when people go through RPGs without leveling and stuff like that.
I always think of the time at E3 when Matt Eads and I were playing the Dishonored demo with one of the developers, and he was talking about how it was going to be a 20-minute demo, and I went through it, and I went and got Matt. I'm like, hey, Matt, you got to try this. And the developer's talking to him about it and teaching him the controls. He's like, so over the next 20 minutes, just play with this and utilize your teleport. And Matt looks up, teleports up 3 steps, and goes into the room and ends the demo in 2 minutes. And the developer's like, oh, didn't know you could do that. That's like, I broke your demo and walked away. Just completely didn't play the game the way it was meant to be played.
Interesting.
I enjoy that. I like going into it thinking I'm just going to run and gun and kill all of these zombies because that's fun. I don't want to have to try to run it, because in this game I wish they'd give you a way to physically combat the zombies. You can have a knife and stab it into their chest,
but like some games will actually offer you in the menu when you choose a difficulty setting. They'll also give you a playstyle setting. So Metro 2033 is a good example. That'll actually give you you can either play it sort of stealth with limited ammo, or you can play just run and gun. So some games are offering you a different playstyle before you even begin.
Run and gun all the time.
Yeah. It's easier. It's more a difficulty thing, I think, 'cause it's kind of tied in with typical easy, normal, hard.
Yeah.
See, I find you said that going around and killing everything and rushing around, you're having not necessarily more fun, but you're having fun doing it. But I don't know, like the whole survival horror aspect of Resident Evil or the whole stealth part of Metal Gear. I enjoy doing that stuff. I really do.
The problem with this though is that you can't functionally get past the zombies. It seems like they have an infinite grasp radius, and they're always going to grab you, and they're always going to bite you.
Nah, not always.
Nah.
There are some tight corridors, but
if only you picked up like a wooden board which you could hit them with or something.
Which you can't.
You use that to board windows up, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes. But why can't you whack a zombie with it instead?
But I think to your point, Mike, it's like you're immersing yourself in the horror aspect of what if you were in this situation with limited ammo and you have to plan because your life
in a
depends on it.
police
Like you can get
station.
Yeah.
Designed by a moron.
With a bunch of dead cops. Pull the ammo off of them.
Do not get me wrong, Eric. I'll admit you proved me wrong when you said you were killing everything. I said you're going to struggle, you're going to run out of ammo, and you managed to get through the first scenario. You proved me wrong.
Yeah.
Fair play to you. I want you to try and do the same thing in the second run.
No, it won't work. Already proved myself can't do it.
Yeah. Just honestly, the difficulty jumps up.
I made it into the station and got to the door where you can go into the main corridor, into the main lobby.
Spoilers!
And was already out of bullets, out of health, and dead, and had to start all over. I'm like, wow, this is going to take some major readjusting.
Well, I said this to Mike while we were away, like, why, when they're scavenging for resources and things, for example, they'll go to lockers and open 2 of the lockers, but you can't open them all. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, why?
Because the little icon comes up to show you there's something in there.
Well, it's the same concept, Dan. When at the beginning of the game, when the car crashes and explodes, the car is on fire, and some of the stuff in the immediate vicinity is on fire. If you really wanted to get to the other side to see Claire, you could walk around the pile of rubble and get to her.
Yeah. This happens all the time in games. Like, for example, there's like a wall which is slightly taller than somebody, and they'll go, "Oh, we can't get over that, so you have to do some elaborate thing to move this block out of the way." Just climb the thing. Just crack on.
Suspension of disbelief.
Video games, son.
Yeah.
Nanomachines, son.
But yeah, I think Resident Evil for sure is going to be one of my top games of this year. I was blown away.
Easily one of mine. Easily. See, the thing is that I'm playing the next game we're probably about to talk about, because I know Dan's eager to talk about it. But at the moment, I don't think there's anything in particular that I'm looking forward to coming out very soon. So
Sekiro. Crash Team.
Oh, yeah, probably. But once I get through Kingdom Hearts, I probably will go back and play some more Resident Evil 2 for sure.
Beat Saber DLC, right, Tom?
You're right, though, Mike. There's really
Absolutely.
not a whole lot of stuff this year coming out that I'm insanely thrilled about.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's because we had such a good 2018, though. I think that's why.
I'm quite looking forward to Sony Ben's game. I forget the name
Days
of
Gone.
it. Days Gone. Yeah.
Psychonauts 2.
I'm looking forward to Mr. Ben's game. Thanks, Tom.
Edna, put another tally on the rice tart.
Wait, do you guys call
That's
him Mr.
Uncle
Ben
Ben,
and
you
not
idiot.
Uncle Ben?
No, it's Uncle Ben. I'm on about Mr. Ben, who was like an old school cartoon.
Oh.
Really old cartoon, yeah.
Yeah. Cheers, Tom. You get
That's
it.
okay. I got it. I got you.
I don't
mate.
get jokes, remember?
Oh, yeah. Shit, we got to
They don't
explain
laugh
all
in
of it.
het.
We're too busy deciding who gets the hat.
Well,
That's what they use
hat
the
and
town
hat.
hall for. The sorting hall.
The single purpose of happenings.
Yeah. Sign up for the hat. Sheet is
God,
on
I
the
dread to
wall.
think what Zach's going to come up with this head happenings from this episode.
It's
I'm looking forward
happenings.
I'm looking forward to the Pokemon core game this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's something I'm really looking forward to getting into. It's
I
been
was
a long
kind of looking
time.
forward to Metroid Prime 4, but that's not coming out now.
Oh yeah. But yeah,
I
like
don't think they ever
like you
said it
said.
was coming out. I'd like to look forward to Final Fantasy VII Remake, but we all know that's not coming out this year.
How about Anthem?
Yeah.
Doom Eternal.
Destiny poo in disguise, you mean?
Apparently Dreams is fantastic, the new Media Molecule
Yes.
Oh,
game.
yeah. Yeah,
I've
Zach
heard
was
it's
on
very
about this.
good.
I saw some footage of Dreams, of things that people have made in the beta already. People have like recreated PT and
Yeah.
Dead Space and all sorts.
What
Like,
about
the hell?
Amazing.
Campo
It's so
Santo
cool.
has a new game coming out in the Valley of the Gods.
There's apparently one called Pray for the Gods, which is basically Shadow of the Colossus, but not, which looks alright. And they had to change the name because apparently somebody sued them over the use of the word pray, so it's now Praey and looks ridiculous, but
What?
Interesting.
Weird.
what else is coming out?
Psychonauts
Death
2,
Stranding will come out this year, I think.
Rage 2,
Based on the fact
Sekiro,
that they showed quite a lot of gameplay
There's
to
not a new
I-
Assassin's
Guerrilla.
Creed this year.
Skull and Bones.
I think what's going to happen, I think Death Stranding is going to be a bit like Metal Gear 5. I think it'll straddle both consoles. It'll do PS4 and PS5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You're right.
it's called Death Straddling, for God's sake.
Oh, guys. Game of the Year contender. It's called Untitled Goose Game. Have you seen this one?
No.
No.
Basically, you get to just be an asshole goose and ruin people's picnics.
Excellent.
Nice. This is like your Guts and Glory game, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Another
That
one
was
of those.
hilarious.
Oh, yeah, Guts and Glory.
Can we talk briefly about playing rap battles with your mother?
Oh my god. Mad vs. City?
Yeah,
Mad
you
vs.
guys
City
now
was one of my
know
favourite
why I
things.
am the way that I am.
Yeah.
We bought Jackbox 5 as soon as we got home because it was on sale.
Fucking brilliant.
What a game.
Yeah, so basically we're playing Jackbox 5. If you don't know what Jackbox is, it's basically party games where you log in on your phone and answer the questions and things like that. But Eric's mother is hilarious. Like, she's just like him, but in mother form.
If Eric was an older woman. Basically.
We'll see what happens in 30
She had
years.
some of the most ridiculously raunchy raps. Oh, it was just awful.
It was so funny.
I think Mike hurt Christie's feelings, though.
Did I?
I don't know. You're like, Christy, you are rubbish at this.
Oh, I was only
And then,
joking.
and then she promptly went upstairs.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
Yeah,
Sorry, Christy.
One of the questions on one of those games, I can't remember what it was exactly. I think it was Quiplash. Was like, how do you keep your something you can do to keep your ears warm?
Oh, God.
And your mum's answer was between two thighs. Put your head
See, like,
between two.
Obviously,
I
I
liked
didn't know-
I liked the Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
I was going to say, I didn't know Eric's mum too well, and I didn't know what her sense of humour was like. So, like, the first round of any of these games we were playing, the first one we did, I was like, I'll hold it back a little bit just in case I don't know what she's like. And then she just gave, like, the kind of answers that we'd give. I was like, right, gloves are off.
I went straight for it. There was one with, the one where you had to invent patents and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was me who invented the keeping the kids away from my massive knob.
That one should have been something that we streamed. That would have been fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's something we
so
could do.
funny.
We could actually play that as a group.
Yeah, 'cause
remotely.
you just log in.
Oh yeah, that would be really good to
Don't-
do one day.
Don't you have to be on the same Wi-Fi network?
No.
No, you
Oh, really?
Because spectators can get the code. and
Oh
log in.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, we shall have to organise a factory-themed game night for Jackbox.
books.
Back to what's coming out this week, or not this week, this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yoshi's Crafted World. That's one of my most anticipated Switch games of the year.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Do you think they'll bring out Woolly World?
Not with Crafted World coming out. I don't think
That's
they'll
a
port it.
shame.
They already
That's a
ported
shame.
it to
Plus-
the 3DS.
Yeah,
Oh, did they?
I was about to
Okay.
say that, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Tom, have you delved into that 3DS at all yet?
No, I haven't bought a charger yet.
Oh, goodness.
I need to. Yeah, and then I'm not sure what. I think Link Between Worlds might be the first thing I give a.
Oh,
Okay,
I
so
look
apparently it's
forward
got
to
an
that
amazing
plot twist. Oh, God. Oh, it's so good.
God. Do you guys want to
Speaking of plot twists and things that don't make sense, right, can we talk about Kingdom Hearts 3? Oh, my God. So, basically, before we get into that, Mike, you shared that video with me about Kingdom Hearts 3, the Kingdom Hearts, the story so far, and oh, my God. I knew it was
Was it
ridiculous.
36 minutes of the full Kingdom Hearts story plot
36
dump?
minutes, but my God, I knew it was convoluted. I knew it made no sense, but this video opened my eyes. Like, I can't even begin to describe how ludicrous the story is. It's just mad. Like, just crazy.
Well, it's like I summarised that bit on the WhatsApp chat. So this is just a very small part of the plot, but there's a point where Master Xehanort, who's the villain of the piece, wants to create the Keyblade. Well, it says X-Blade. It's spelt X-Blade, but pronounced Keyblade. So Xehanort wants to recreate the X-Blade, pronounced Keyblade, by starting a Keyblade war, and the X-Blade, pronounced Keyblade, will be formed when two Keyblade warriors fight each other using Keyblades.
Yes. It's just mental. And like every character has about 3 different forms, and then people have died and came back to life, and then there's time travel, and then there's frigging alternate worlds and data worlds as well. And it's like,
because there's one of the
Data
spin-offs.
worlds.
One of the spin-offs. I can't remember which one it is. The entire premise of the entire game is that because when you play through Kingdom Hearts, Jiminy Cricket's like in Sora's pocket the entire time, keeping a journal of what goes on. So the premise of one of the spin-offs, I can't remember which one it is that Jiminy's journal is blank. So they put it into data form, and then they create a data version of Sora to play through this game, which will then recreate Jiminy's journal. So there's an entire other
Right.
Sora that's been a data version of Sora, which they actually reference in Kingdom Hearts 3.
then there's about 8 people living in Sora's heart somehow.
What?
And then Master
Yeah.
Xehanort wants to
Yeah,
create
seriously.
like 13 vessels for him to split himself into. And then there's also another version of Xehanort from his younger days that's travelling through time.
And then there's
And
a version
then
of Xehanort who's been split in half called Xemnas and what's the other one?
Ansem.
Ansem. So there's 2
But
forms
spoilers for Kingdom Hearts.
like
there's
handsome
another character
without
called
the H?
Yeah, Ansem. Yeah,
Ansem.
without the H. And then,
Ansem
but there's
herb.
also another character. But spoilers for Kingdom Hearts 2. The one that's called Ansem stole the name from another character who's called Ansem. So there's 2 Ansems in the game. One that is a split version of Xehanort, and one which is another. Yeah, exactly.
This is so convoluted.
At this point,
We're
I'm
not
just
even
coming
scratching
along
the
for the ride.
surface.
The definition. Ugh.
So
The thing is, right, the thing that's annoying about Kingdom Hearts, because obviously we'll get into Kingdom Hearts in a moment, the annoying thing about Kingdom Hearts 3, and the Kingdom Hearts series in general is they've had Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and 3, had all these spin-offs, but now we've got to Kingdom Hearts 3. So many plot points from all of the spin-offs, which have been across several consoles. So there's been the Game Boy Advance, there's been the DS, the 3DS, PSP, the Vita.
Mobile as well, I think.
Mobile, yeah. Well, that was Japan only as well. And so many of the important plot points across the 3 main titles actually come from these side games. So I went into Kingdom Hearts 3 having played 1 and 2, none of the side games. And before I played it, I watched this video that I was on about that, ties all of the plot together. Going into Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm glad I watched it, because there's parts of Kingdom Hearts 3 I'm only like 10 hours in where I'd be like, what? Who the fuck is that? Why is that happening?
Yeah, I think even with watching that video, that's going to happen. Because you just have to go with it at this point. It's a good, fun game with really cool like Disney worlds and things like that wrapped up in convoluted nonsense. It doesn't need to be as complicated as it is.
So you're saying that Kingdom Hearts 3 sometimes pulls in elements from like Chain of Memories on Game Boy Advance or whatever.
All of the characters from all of those games are now in it.
What?
So,
my god, no wonder. Because those games are not small either, the spin-offs.
Nope.
To be honest, until I watched that video, I didn't honestly understand the difference between a Heartless and a Nobody. Because
did you not? That's explained in 2.
It's been forever since I last played it, and it's just so... Because the last one I played was Dream Drop Distance on 3DS. Ridiculous name. Got nothing to do with that. But
get it, Dan? Because it's 3D and Dream Drop Distance. Those are 3. They both start... all 3 of them start with D, so there's 3 Ds. But it's also...
Should have called it
it's also on the 3DS.
I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't spot that before, so you've just mentioned it.
I didn't. Jesus. No, but obviously Kingdom Hearts 3... They should have just called it
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yes, they should. But it's finally out. This game has been in development forever. And it's still surreal to actually play it. And it is...
Apparently there's a
fun,
bunch
actually.
of... I read somewhere that half the team are doing... I guess bug fixes, improvements, and the other half is now working on the remake, FF7 remake.
Yes.
In regard to this game finally being out, aside from the hype and everything, like just looking at it objectively, I haven't played it. I don't really have any intention of playing it.
Shocking.
Who am I kidding? I'm not going to buy it and just have it sit on my shelf for another 13 years. But
we'll see.
Apparently it was kind of a letdown story-wise for people. It was supposed to tidy up this entire convoluted, complex story, and it just kind of was like...
Yeah, it can't.
It felt like a little bit of a swing and a miss.
I'm just going along with it right now, to be honest.
Eric, are you going from the... Because you know that it leaked about a month ago. The entire game leaked apart from the epilogue. And there was a lot of reports of people saying that the story doesn't work, yada, 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 from these leaks. But Square Enix basically said, well, the epilogue, the leak version that's come out hasn't got the epilogue on. So
no, are you
reading reports from then, or
I was going based off of the reviewers, like Polygon, where they said the game itself is great, but essentially it started development as a PS2 game, then worked through the PS3 life cycle, and now we're almost at the end of the PS4. So it's obviously changed over time, but it still has elements of each of those individual consoles. So it's still kind of...
Well, this is the interesting thing. Like, there are moments where you're playing it and you're like, wow, this still actually controls a little bit like a PS2 game. But the thing that is amazing is that a game that's been in development for that long still feels like a brand new game. Like, which Duke Nukem was it that came out that had been like in development for years? Yeah, it had been in development forever, exactly. And even Tom didn't find that one funny.
He's not listening. He's tuning
not listening. That funny. You can tell when each of us aren't listening now. That apparently I never played it, but it obviously felt very dated. It felt like a game that had been started all those years ago. This, to a degree, feels a little bit PS2-ish in places, but for the most part, doesn't feel like a game that's been in development for that long. It doesn't feel dated.
No, it's got a lot of polish to it. The graphics, in particular, in some of the Pixar worlds, are so good. Because you've got to think, like, people, when Toy Story came out, we're thinking like, will games ever look this good? And now you can experience Toy Story in Kingdom Hearts 3, and it's so cool.
That is the one
it
thing
looks
that
so
is
good.
really intriguing about it, though. When watching the trailer for it before Kingdom Hearts 1, and I assume Kingdom Hearts 2, I haven't played it. You go into the
Have
world.
you not?
No, I
Still
haven't.
Oh, you should buy that, Eric.
I have it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Each of the worlds, it just kind of is like, okay, this is the Kingdom Hearts graphic style, but in Little Mermaid or in Hercules, and it didn't really adhere to the art style of that individual world. But watching the trailer for this, you're like, okay, you're in the Pirates of the Caribbean, and it actually looks like real characters. And then you go
I
into...
forgot about Pirates of the Caribbean. I haven't.
Yeah,
got to
then you
that
go
yet.
into Toy Story and like, boom, all of you are Toy Story. Or the Monsters, Inc., you all look like the monsters. And they
Yeah.
actually really went that next step to make you feel like you're in that world instead of making that world feel like Kingdom
really
Hearts.
cool. I'm on the Frozen level at the moment, and that is really good.
I made the mistake of showing my daughters the trailer for that because we were just surfing through the PS4 store and they saw Kingdom Hearts, and Amelia loves Mickey, and she's like, Mickey! So we clicked on it, and it's cycling through all these worlds, and as soon as they saw the Baymax world and the Frozen and the Wreck-It Ralph, and they're like, Daddy, do you have that game? Like, no. And we had to watch that trailer like 4 times in a row, and every day, like, can we get that? Can we get that? So I'll probably end up
Playing
getting it.
Kingdom Hearts.
It looks like I'll be playing that one. Is it, I mean,
Then
is
they'll
it
be so
appropriate?
confused by the plot.
Is it a game appropriate for them to watch?
Oh yeah, for sure,
Okay.
definitely, yeah.
They won't understand anything that's going on, so they need
Neither
to
will
look
I.
at the cute Disney
Yeah,
stuff.
none of
so-
you will.
Yeah.
No.
The great
I-
thing is, even
I'm
though the
good-
plot is convoluted, you can tell it's one of those like really basic Disney things where you can tell who is good, you can tell who is bad. If a child is watching it, they don't need to necessarily understand the plot. They can just go, well, he's obviously the bad guy, he's obviously the good guy. Just watch it.
Yeah, the
That
people
kind of
in the
thing.
black coats are generally bad
Yeah.
and want to
Maybe-
do things for reasons.
You know what? Maybe next weekend I will buy this because I'm going to be laid up all next weekend. I have a procedure on Thursday that
Oh shit!
I'm not particularly looking forward to, but
Oh, is it finally happening?
it's finally happening because I don't want any more kids. So,
Snip, snip.
snippy snips.
Are you getting your
Knob chopped off.
That's how they do it here in America.
I thought so.
Are you gonna, are you
Just
gonna give it to
just
Tom?
shoot it off with a Desert Eagle,
Tom, I'll mail it to you.
Nice.
and you can pop it in your willy warmer. It all comes full circle, guys.
Tell you what, I am not excited about this. But
I don't blame you.
I'd be less excited about having a third kid. So they're going to give me a Valium, and then I'm also going to have access to self-medicate with nitrous oxide during the procedure. They're like, yeah, you'll just have this little tube, and you can breathe as much as you want. If you start to feel lightheaded, like you just take the
Live
tube
stream
out.
it. Live stream it.
Oh my god, could you imagine Facebook Live my But they said, yeah, you can take the tube out and breathe the normal air for a couple minutes and be back to normal. Like, I guarantee you that tube is not coming out of my mouth for the entire time I'm in that room. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up. I'm not sure if anything will make its way to Facebook, but the WhatsApp group, I have to take this Valium like an hour beforehand. There might be
God.
some weird shit that comes through.
Excellent. I've missed Drunk Eric. We haven't had him on WhatsApp for a while, actually. So
We haven't.
Jesus.
no.
Jesus.
I'm making Christy come with me because I helped. Well, not even helped. I was there when she gave birth to 2 kids. I'm like, you can be here for this. So that's happening next week. So maybe I'll buy Kingdom Hearts 3 and try it.
You know what I've just noticed? You've put a feckin' CRT on my stream.
That's been up for an hour and a half.
I haven't been watching it. Oh my god.
So funny.
So for those listening, not watching, he's literally put a CRT TV around my webcam feed.
No, it's one of those old TVs from the 80s. The ones where you have to get up to change the channel.
Now you just
Big
need to add
clunky buttons.
now you just need to add the scan lines.
Good job, Eric.
16 by 9 CRT.
Such a twat.
God. Oh, we're gonna have fun with this video version of this show.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Can we get Mike a volume button?
No, I don't have.
I resent
control.
that.
I don't have control to do
Brilliant.
that. So, no.
Brilliant.
I think he just means a visual volume
Yes.
button.
Oh,
Just make people feel better.
maybe. Anything else you want to talk about with Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, it looks phenomenal, Eric. Like, if you do get this for the kids, get it on Xbox. Because I'm playing on Xbox One X, and it hits 4K, it hits 60 frames per second. It is gorgeous. The downside, no HDR, which I found strange.
Really?
Oh,
Well,
Yeah,
HDR wasn't
strange.
around
So-
in the PS2 era, so
Well, yeah, that's true. But it's amazing how much it still pops. Like, on your TV, it will look phenomenal, even without the HDR. But it's a shame, because I was saying to Hazel last night while I was playing it that imagine if this had HDR, like just how much all the bright colours would pop. It would put a lot of games to shame, I think.
You know, like, because obviously you guys all have the Pro, and I've only got the standard PlayStation, but you still get HDR support on the standard PlayStation. And when I was playing Ni no Kuni 2, my God, you can tell the difference.
oh yeah.
You really can.
oh.
So
Well, it's
Santos,
like when I got-
Santos Lopez has just said, new game snippets starring Eric Peterson.
New Robot Master, Snip Man.
Snip man.
I think.
Dan, you may want to
Yeah.
check the stream again. I fixed
have you
your
done
image.
If you put scan lines on.
Now you just need to. Can you stretch it?
Oh, God, that's so good.
Such a dickhead.
Don't give me control over stuff like this. I can't take it serious.
I quite like it, actually.
Oh God.
I love it. I love it.
Brilliant.
I think I would love to play Kingdom Hearts 3, but I would definitely like to play through the 1.5, 2 point blah, whatever, final remix
Final
on
chapter,
PS4
prologue,
first.
epilogue.
Whatever it is.
So,
Yeah.
because 2.8, because Kingdom Hearts 2.8 came out, Final Chapter Prologue, whatever it's called, a slight spoiler for Kingdom Hearts 3, before it all kicks off, it starts with Kingdom Hearts 2.9.
Yeah,
Oh.
it really does.
Where do they choose these names?
I don't know.
No.
It literally flashes
the
up
thing
on
is-
screen, Kingdom
It's like,
Hearts
guys, you don't need to
2.9.
include your software versioning in your title.
Like, and it's
So I was wondering what the difference between 2.5 remix and 2.8 remix is, and this is like how stupid the whole bloody side game thing gets. So there's an extra part of on 2.8. There's an extra part that's like a 2-hour long experience, which is another major plot point in Kingdom Hearts 3 that you can only play on the 2.8 remix version.
Oh, is that Fragmentary Passage or whatever it's called?
Yeah,
or
it's
something?
0.2 Birth by Sleep a fragmentary passage. It's like 2 hours worth of game that, like I say, has important plot points for Kingdom Hearts 3. And the only way to play it is get 2.8 remix.
So I'm curious from anybody who has like an intimate understanding of the story. Does that have any
Nobody.
relevance to the naming nomenclature?
Nope.
No. So that in that way, that's probably the only one where, like, because there's 1.5 remix, which is basically Kingdom Hearts 1, and it does have some extra stuff, and then it's also got it doesn't have full versions of some of the side games, but it has like stories from them for you to
There's
learn
one
them.
called like
Then 2.5 is the
358
same.
/2 years or days or something.
358 over 2 days, yeah.
Something like that. But then like 2.5 is a similar thing. It has Kingdom Hearts 2 with some remix bits, and then
Chain of
also
Memories.
has like the stories of some of the other ones. Then 2.8 remix came out, and that's the one that has, it's the same as 2.5 but has that extra bit that I just spoke about.
Couldn't they just go Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 3,
No.
Kingdom Hearts 4?
They're on a
Kingdom
mission
Hearts
to make
5.
the most
Kingdom Hearts
confusing series
PSP.
in the history of the world.
But this is the worst thing, they've spread them across all of these consoles as well.
You should just-
Doesn't the recent
pack them all.
PS4 pack that came out called The Story So Far like truncate all of that?
Yes, it does, but
Yeah.
we don't have it over here.
Mike, you bought it over here, didn't you?
No, I got 1.5 and 2.5 remix.
Oh.
I bought the same one as Mike.
which I'll be using. When
I
play
am
Kingdom
going
Hearts.
to play the
Tom,
OG version.
Basically, for the
Tom,
show.
what I would recommend for you is if you're going to play Kingdom Hearts 3, maybe wait until we've done the first Kingdom Hearts for the show. Not for story reasons, just because I am already not going to be looking forward to replaying Kingdom Hearts because it's going to feel very dated compared to this one. And I think if you go in doing Kingdom Hearts 3 first, then going back and having Kingdom Hearts, your first experience of Kingdom Hearts, I think it's really going to hamper Kingdom Hearts for you.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm definitely going to wait until the show.
Important question about gummy shipbuilding in Kingdom Hearts 3. Are there restrictions?
You can make a knob. Yes,
perfect. Sold.
But like I said this to you briefly on WhatsApp, the gummy ship travel thing is more kind of like Ratchet cracking time rather than just an Unreal shooter now.
Oh man!
So you can actually explore like space hubs with different things to find and things like that, and it's actually quite fun. I like it.
There's constellations to find with your camera and stuff as well.
Yes, and they look like Final Fantasy characters. That's basically the only references to Final Fantasy there is in it now.
See, and that's a shame because when Kingdom Hearts came out, like that was the crux of the selling point was Disney meets Final Fantasy, and here you go.
Yeah,
and
I'm really surprised actually, unless it's later. But I haven't. No Cloud, no Squall, nobody.
It's not.
I think
Squall,
they've introduced
it's
so
Leon.
many of. They've introduced so many of their own characters into this now that aren't even Disney or Final Fantasy that I think they've had to let the Final Fantasy stuff go to the wayside. I don't know. I'm guessing here, but yeah.
Now, they could have binned off one of the 8 people who's in Sora's Hearts and then kept a couple of Final.
You know what they should do? They should make a Final Fantasy game with Disney characters. See, there you
What?
go. Yeah. Yeah. See. Sarah Lopez says 2.8 includes 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage, and a video for X back cover, which is connected to Kingdom Hearts Unchained X/Union X. What the hell did that?
The X is pronounced Chi, not X, I think.
Well, how am I supposed to know that? It's an X!
Well, you're not,
that-
but somebody told me this once.
So
and I
does
was
that
like,
mean that, Mike, that thing that you were saying, the Keyblade that's pronounced with the X, is it the, what did you say was Chi?
The
The
Chi
Blade?
No, it's not a cheese blade. Tom laughed.
Edna, put another telly on the fromage joke chart.
Can they not? Could she, instead of a tally chart for that, can they just open up like a pot of fromage?
Have Sora slice the brie.
Dear. But yeah, it's great. Like I think if you go, because one of the big questions, because there's been such a big gap between the last one and this one, and obviously they missed an entire generation of consoles in a way. They've missed out PS3 and Xbox 360. Also, this is the first one to be on Xbox. A lot of the big questions seem to be: can you jump into Kingdom Hearts 3 without knowing any plot? Yes, you can. You'll still enjoy it. You won't have a fucking clue what's going on. As long as you just know good guys, bad guys, Disney Worlds, done. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
Done.
But, I've played most of them and I still don't know what's going on. So
Exactly. But find a good... I can't remember who did the one that I watched, but find a good plot analysis of Kingdom Hearts before going in if you really, really want to know. You'll come out of it a little bit more knowledgeable, but you probably still won't necessarily understand. I've watched the video twice now, and I think I understand about 70, maybe 80% of the story going in.
It's helped me, I will admit, but there's still so much which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, should we move on to the game of the week?
Game of the week.
Oh, there's that back, is it?
Exclusive. Factory sealed exclusive.
World premiere.
Water cooler.
TV.
Movies. Entertainment. Not games.
Mike, have at it.
Guys, what did we play this week, Mike Tyson?
We played Ghostbusters for the Sega Mega Drive.
Or what should we have played?
Or something real. It don't look good. Who you gonna call? The county sheriff? Invisible man? Sleeping in my bed? Who you gonna call? Someone else? Ghostbusters.
Is that from something or just you being dumb?
It's just me being dumb.
Fucking love American Tom.
I couldn't stop saying it. The whole time I was playing it. I even had a go on it on Twitch. I put up a little video, and I was just trying to see how far I could get. And I totally just that game is hard, Mike. That game is very unfair at times, but it is hard in general. It's hard enough going back to side-scrolling platformers from that era, but this one
some
from
are
the
more
get-go,
difficult than others.
Yeah, like level 1 is typically just showing you the ropes, but from the get-go, it's actually pretty tough.
So did you guys go level 1 first then? Because you can choose a bit like Mega Man.
I didn't know you could choose.
First.
Wow, I had no idea. No idea.
No, you know that. So you know that map screen.
I just assumed it took you over there.
No, there's the 4 levels available from the start.
Damn.
Didn't know
The
that.
first 4. So there's 6 levels altogether, but the first 4 you can do in any order you want.
Wow. Is this when the map, and it says, I think it says Home Sweet Home or something?
Yeah,
like a map with a house. Well, you
Woody
can move
house.
that and highlight other. I did.
Yeah,
not
you just
know
move
that.
it across. You know that D-pad on the left side of the controller.
Where?
So you use that to move things around in old games.
Lost me.
So when you're on that map
Shit.
screen, if you press left and right and up and down, it moves it around the map screen to the other locations.
I assumed it's just like, hey, here we go, first level, and then when you beat that and you go back to action item, it's like second case. I assumed that it was going to progress me through logically.
No.
That one?
It's like the Mega
That
Man
one
of
there?
Ghostbuster games.
Yes, exactly.
Damn it.
So yeah, Ghostbusters for the Mega Drive. It was released in 1990, I believe. It was made by a now defunct studio called Compile, who the only notable game I could find that they developed was Puyo Puyo for the Master System. Everything else that I read of theirs, I didn't recognize at all. So they're now defunct. I couldn't find a lot about this game, to be honest. I couldn't even find any sort of reviews.
Did you find anybody who liked it?
No, not even necessarily myself.
Oh, shit.
Went there.
Why that was rock hard? It's not one of the worst games we've played.
No, it isn't.
It's
terrible,
the worst game
but-
we've played this year.
Yeah, all 2 of them.
So the premise of it, obviously based on the 1984 film Ghostbusters, which is one of my favourite films ever, and Ghostbusters is one of my favourite franchises. And the main reason,
Really?
You
main reason I suggested
That's like
playing
me
this-
saying I like Metroidvania.
it's like saying Dan loves complaining.
Yeah.
So I used to rent this a lot as a kid.
Spoilers.
There was 2 stores specifically. Well, I used to rent it as a kid. There was two stores near us that we used to rent games from, and this one was only in one of them, and it was very rarely there. And it was just one of those ones. Whenever I used to rent a game, if it was there, I would rent it. And I know this from getting to the 5th level and getting to a certain boss on this game, that I got pretty far in this as a kid. And I'm talking less than 11, because I know we moved from that town when I was 11. I have no idea how I got there, because like you guys said, this game is so fucking hard.
I spent a lot of time looking for a physical cart of this game, and if I found one, I was going to buy it, and they were about $30. I am glad I didn't spend $30 on
Well,
that.
mainly because you wouldn't have been able to use save states, which that
Oh,
game,
yeah.
how you managed to get to level 5 back in the day on without save states.
It
is
doesn't
quite a
even
feat.
seem possible, because the enemies are so unfair with how they attack. The bosses take off about a quarter of your health every time they hit you.
Yeah,
You only
that's
get
true.
3 lives per level, and each level
Yeah.
has multiple bosses.
So one of the premise of this game is you go into each case, and at the beginning of the case it will it tells you how many middle ghosts there are. So most, like the first level only has 1, then most of the levels have 2, and then later on there's 4 middle ghosts per level. And you have to go in. The levels aren't linear. I'd say the first level is a little bit, but the levels aren't linear. You have to go around and you have to find these middle ghosts, beat them. Hopefully trap them. A mini-game starts where you trap them, and if you trap them you get paid more for it, for your upgrades. And once you've beaten all of the middle ghosts, you can then access the boss room. If you find the boss room before fighting all the middle ghosts, it's locked, you can't go in. But there is an upgrade system, and what you said about your lives and your energy and things like that, I don't know if you guys were aware that if you go back to the beginning of the level and then go out of the exit, you can exit back to the shop.
Yes, I knew that.
I did see that.
So if you're low on health, there is an item in the shop for only $500 dues that will restore your health or restore your energy. So
Peking
you
duck.
get more. Yeah, Peking duck. But there's there's the little like crackers as well that you can get that are cheaper that will restore your health mid level.
Can you buy more continues?
No.
Oh.
In the European version, it's biscuits, isn't it? In the PAL version. Thanks, Mike.
It's all right. I have to return some laughter sometime. So yeah, you get the upgrades, but the more enemies that you kill, the more dollary dues you get, because you get a certain amount of dollary dues per ghost you kill. And I started this game, realised how fucking difficult it was going to be, so I spent a couple of hours on the first night playing it, just grinding like a load of ghosts around the beginning, because it's one of those old school games where if you go off the screen and then come back, the enemies reappear.
Oh, yeah.
But to the ghosts, I thought you only got money from the bags that you got out of the safe.
Me
No.
too.
So each enemy, if you have a look, so on the pause screen, it shows how many dollary dues you have. Each like ghost you kill, if you go back in, you'll have made like $20 here, $30 there.
See, I found it was easier to just run the level and get the safes, and then run back out. And I got the 7,000 for the triple shot in maybe 15 minutes.
Oh, nice.
So
Wish I'd done that.
yeah. I lost a lot of lives and continues in the process.
I used to just like a hell lot of save states. So the premise of each of these middle ghosts is they're essentially these just like middle. They're mini boss fights, aren't they? And I say mini. Some of them are harder than the main boss fights. Like Tom, I know you had trouble with the very very first middle ghost.
Yes. My God.
Oh, I
It
did
was
too.
Which one was
Yeah.
that?
It was like the blue, like Jeeves type.
The guy that sends his
character.
pants to
Oh,
fight you.
yeah.
He sends his
Yeah,
pants to fight you, and he has a hat with the actual ghost that you have to kill
Yeah.
inside, and like he'll.
The problem I found
show
with a
and
lot of
hide
the
it.
bosses was it wasn't clear when you were hitting them a lot of the time, and
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
you could do, like for example that ghost you could shoot at him a lot, but you had to hit the ghost that popped out of his Jeeves hat rather
Yes.
than him.
And he had to flash to give you that feedback as to whether you were hitting him or not. But
Yeah.
you had to, like you said, Mike, the other day, you had to specifically shoot his head. And where the angle that I was getting, I just wasn't quite there. And the hitbox is pretty large, like in terms of him connecting with you. Like it was really, I just found that really tough.
Well, until you got
To
the
be
triple
honest.
shot.
Yeah, you have to upgrade. Like Mike said, you do have to
So-
exit the level, grind a bit.
I don't know if it was the controller that I was using, but the controls in this game were crap.
It was very floaty as well when you're like
Yeah,
the
jump
platforming in general.
was very odd.
Yeah, I don't know if it was because I had to emulate this, so I don't know if maybe it was problems with the latency or the ROM or something, but like it wasn't very responsive when I was jumping. I felt there was a bit of a delay, and it just wasn't very precise and tight.
Who did you play as?
Normal guy.
Is it Egon?
Egon.
Yeah.
Oh
Maybe
man,
that
you
was-
made it definitely difficult for yourself. So for
Oh.
some reason, there's only 3 Ghostbusters in this. Where Winston is, I don't know. Considering this is technically like it doesn't fit into any story, but it's supposed to be after the first film. And so just the 4th Ghostbuster's missing for some reason in this game. But you have a choice of 3 of them. Peter, who he has normal endurance and normal speed. Ray, who has low speed but high endurance, and Egon, who has fast speed but low endurance. Like I said, I
Yeah.
restarted. I started with Peter doing normal, and I thought I'd have a go with Ray. And the speed difference between those two wasn't very much, so I was like, I'm just going to go with someone that has great defense. But
Right.
yeah, I remember I did have a little quick go with Egon, and each ghost just takes so much life off of you.
Yeah. Oh my God. No, I should have tried another Ghostbuster.
Yeah, I just stuck with Bill Murray, and then
Yeah.
it really didn't look like him.
So the
Really
art style
bad.
of this game is weird.
Yes. The character models have unusually large heads. I wonder what the choice was there. I don't know. I don't know if maybe they were trying to get all the likeness, but in the head, which I don't know.
Although
If they,
the weird thing is like the front of the of the actual gun changes depending what weapon you're using.
Yeah.
But the actual front of the gun, the light bit, so if it's like a little flame on one of them or like the little light, it moves independently to everything else on the body. When the actual Ghostbuster's walking, where he's holding the actual gun, like it looks like he's just kind of cuddling himself and walking along.
Needs reassurance when he's walking along.
Well, maybe he just doesn't like ghosts.
We need to
Fair
talk
enough,
about
fair enough.
the terrible dialogue in this game as well.
Oh God.
Yeah, some glaring spelling errors.
So there's a very, very rough story in this game. Essentially, the 4 levels at the beginning, as you go through, at the end of them, when you fight the final boss of each one, like a quarter of this old school kind of stone tablet appears, and as you're going through the game, they put it together. So there's these mini bits of dialogue in between that I don't know if it's just like poor translation or just somebody didn't give a shit. But like the text alignment is all over the place. What was that one that you shared, Dan? That was
I can't remember.
Like,
It just
repeated
repeated the same thing.
They got a few orphan characters as well that drop down to the next line. This is a graphic design nightmare.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah.
One. So they say one more, and we'll see one more piece, and we'll have the whole thing.
One more. Say
We'll
one more
see one
piece
more
and we'll have
piece.
the whole thing.
It literally just said one more, and we'll see one more piece, and we'll have the whole thing. That is the sentence.
Damn it.
so.
That's bad.
One of my favourite ones is the final level appears out of this huge. There ends up being this earthquake later on, and the final level appears out of a hole in the middle of the map. Spoilers, yes, Dan, I know. And it says, the dialogue literally says it's created a glant hole
Instead of giant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Glant
you had
hole
to
in
have
the
some
middle
big
of the sea.
fingers. The eyes.
I do like a gland hole. It's my favourite hole.
Oh.
Jesus, dear.
God.
That's the butthole joke.
So,
Hey.
getting back to that first level, you have that really like awful kind of mid boss that, you know, the hit detection's low and takes so much fucking energy off you, and then that one immediately kind of throws you into the final boss, which is that weird kind of feathered creature with the spiky head,
Yeah.
the green one that sheds all its feathers
Oh,
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Remember
I
that?
thought it was a plant.
Whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was like, is this a ghost? Am I busting ghosts right now, or am I busting plants?
Yeah, and the
Plant
Not this far
busters.
without making a ghost attack joke.
I was leaving it up to you.
Yeah, that's your thing.
It's not my thing.
Not enough toes.
Venus flytrap, piranha plant. What are you gonna call plant busters?
Did any of you actually manage to avoid any of the leaves, feathers, whatever they are?
Jesus, no. How did
No.
you? Did you manage?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Fuck me.
Like,
I think if you had the triple shot, it might be possible because you can shoot them. But
I had the triple shot. No.
No,
No.
no way, man.
So the theme, the levels themselves are kind of themed a little bit. So you have the first one, which is just kind of supposed to be a bog standard house, which, you know, some of the enemies is just cutlery.
And a table sheet.
yes. Oh, and I could never avoid the tablecloth. It would always get me, no matter
That's a
what
weird
I did.
sentence.
Yeah, I could- Just out of context, so much of this is wrong.
Because he catches you, doesn't he?
and then
Yes,
as soon as
every
the
time.
tablecloth's got Tom, the curling team come out for the revenge.
It took me a while to realise you could crawl in that game. You can go
Didn't you
prone
didn't realize? Sorry, you didn't realize you can shoot diagonally either, did you?
didn't realise you should diagonally. Didn't realise you
Oh my
could crawl.
God.
Didn't,
And you guys
actually, I
give
didn't
me
know.
shit.
I
How
didn't.
much time did you spend with Eric when we were away?
Too much time. It just rubbed off on me.
Oh yeah.
I forgot how
I think I got it from
controls
Ratchet
work.
because I called him quite a lot.
So
And-
yeah,
Yeah,
Go on.
I did know you could exit the level. I didn't know you could choose which level. I do always go to the options menu in games. Eric doesn't always do that.
Never.
I do always have a little
Never.
gander. Notice you could choose between 20 different music tracks.
that
in
was
the
just
game.
to listen to them, Tom.
Yeah.
It
but-
doesn't alter the game.
No, but I just know that it had extras. Okay, I know that much. And then they had easy, normal, hard. I should have chosen easy. Looking at it now, that might have been worth doing. for this game.
Yeah, as somebody who did that once, don't.
Not worth it.
No. That was it. I think that's it.
Is that all your options, was it?
No, there was something else major they
You
didn't
could
know that
listen
you
to
could
the
do.
sound effects, I think.
Yes, that you could do in all those games.
Options of the week.
Bam. All the different 16-bit effects. Fucking hell.
There's some options for you, Tom. So yeah, the levels are themed. So the first one's kind of normal. Then you get to the second level, and it's like a frozen ice zone. It's supposed to be someone's house, and at the beginning you get his dialogue going, "Oh, I woke up this morning and my house was flooded. I need the help of the Ghostbusters."
How rich are these people
I
to
think
avoid
I
these
heard
homes?
everything you said. Let me have a look at it.
Which he says to everybody.
But it's just a massive like frozen ice zone.
yeah. The environments were really confusing.
The
And
ice cap,
actually,
the ice cap zone.
the level design was really sloppy as well. I thought it was just boring.
Lopper.
Yeah, I just thought it was pretty tame. Like, I don't know, but I'm not going to be too hard on that.
Yeah.
It just was. At least it was varied enough. But like, I didn't even. The other thing I didn't know was that you had to buy goggles for the third case because the level is completely pitch dark. I was like, "Fuck this shit! I can't see."
Well, I
anything."
had some already, so I was like, "Oh, they'll probably illuminate the environment," and they did. They run out, which is a.
They run out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to buy a few because they gradually run out.
Jeez.
Man, they're just nickel and diming you on the Ghostbusters game.
So, but because I was 3/4 the way through the level, had the tiniest sliver of health, I just cheesed it and used save states to get through to where I needed to. And when you get to the boss room, thankfully it illuminates again. So I just kind of did that because I was like, I'm not doing all this again.
But going back on those level themes, yeah, that third level is a fucking trip, isn't it? I mean, the guy at the beginning of that one is, "Oh, I woke up and my house spontaneously burst on fire, and
Yes.
the water wouldn't put it out." And you get in there, and it's like a burning fucking hellscape.
Yeah. Have you considered calling arson? I don't think ghosts are your problem. Someone doesn't like you.
But then, like on the fourth level is supposed to be like a skyscraper.
I didn't get that.
Again, the translation error on it at the beginning is the woman is supposed to be like some rich woman, but she constantly refers to it as a mansion, even though it's like an apartment building. But Dan, you said you got to the fifth level. How bullshit were the moments where the boss of the skyscraper level, spoilers, I know, it's Stay Puft, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And you get to points where you see him looking through the building, and there's these moments where just completely at random, his fist flies through the wall.
Oh
to hit you.
yeah, that was bullshit. It was so bad.
Oh my god! How many levels are there, Mike?
I was just crawling through the
Okay,
levels
too
at
many.
that point because I was like, I can't be bothered getting
Too
to fight him
many?
again.
Honestly, like the Stay Puft arms are one of the things that are just biggest bullshit on it. You just from nowhere just comes flying through the wall, and you can't. Like it's so hard to avoid.
Ugh.
And the tablecloths are back on that level.
Fucking
yeah,
tablecloths,
are they?
guys.
Yeah.
And the cutlery.
And, and some evil squids in some water.
Yeah, for reasons.
Yeah, for reasons.
I mean, when you get up the top of a skyscraper, there's quite often a random body of water with giant squids in, which look like they're off Echo the Dolphin.
They do look like they're
Wow.
off Echo. Yeah, you're right. But so yeah, you end up fighting the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man on the top of that one, and that is a fucking bullshit boss as well. So you're on top of the skyscraper, you're on the roof, and his head's over the top of the building, and he fires lasers from his eyes, fires fireballs from his eyes that stay around the room for a little bit, and then also his fists come flying in from the side.
Yeah.
How he's holding onto that building, I don't
Those
know.
fireballs are so difficult to dodge.
Yeah, especially with that
So
jump
I
button.
was following a guide for this game, and it said use the pyro. What's it called? The something pyro gun, the one with the flame on it. I can't remember.
Oh, the phase something or other,
Yeah,
phase
something
blaster.
something like that.
Yeah.
And it said use that for him, so it didn't struggle too much. But he was still the patterns of his attacks. This is true. A lot of the bosses, the patterns of their attacks was so like they didn't really have tells as much as bosses in
Yeah.
other games do, and they're
Yeah.
just very random, like what they would do. It made it really difficult to compensate for what they're going to do. So when I was save stating, I was kind of like, do I want to save state? Because I might get hit.
Well, one of the middle ghosts on that level as well. It's like a giant kind of caterpillar made of eyes that flies through the air.
that was annoying
And-
as hell.
eventually all of the eyes split off, and you have to destroy all the eyes individually, but they're constantly flying around the room, firing things at you, and it's just absolute bullshit.
So, and was there another version of this game? Like, was there a Super Nintendo version?
No, so there are various Ghostbusters games across like kind of all the consoles back then, but they're all very different games. It's not like with Aladdin,
not like Aladdin or something. Okay.
Well, Aladdin's a better example because they were very different games, but it's not like, say, The Lion King, where it was the same game over and over.
Okay.
Or even going back to Aladdin, or like a slightly different version. So like the Master System version was like this weird kind of top-down driving the car, the Ecto-1 through the streets, and then you'd have these weird kind of mini games trying to catch the ghost. I've never played the Super Nintendo one, but I don't think it's anything like this. I think it's Ghostbusters 2 on the... I think they went off the second film for the Super Nintendo, actually, but I've never actually played it.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if anyone had tried the Super Nintendo version. And if it had actually... if it was actually anything similar, like... or a totally different game.
But it's interesting to see kind of how much they borrowed the Mega Man formula for this game. So
someone say Mega Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how he hasn't spoke for about 10 minutes and you see he's perked up at that.
Well, there is, because there's the selection of the levels at the beginning, there's the different powers, the upgrades, there's the energy tank. On the final level, all of the middle ghosts are the bosses from the previous levels, apart from Stay Puft for some reason. Yeah, so all the middle ghosts are old level bosses, but that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing, because some of the middle ghosts were harder, I found. But yeah, it was interesting that they kind of took the Mega Man formula with it.
It is. I got Mega Man vibes.
I did too, but I didn't enjoy it as much as my man Mega.
I got Rocket Knight Adventure vibes from it too.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I flipping love that game. I can't believe you guys didn't like it. I can't believe you guys didn't like Rocket Knight Adventures. It's such a good game.
Yeah, it is amazing. I wasn't on the show for that.
Yeah, we need to revisit it, Mike. 2-man show.
Well, we could do Sparkster at some point in the future.
It's not as good.
Is it not?
I thought they remade Rocket Knight Adventures for PS3.
They did.
It was it was kind of a reboot, not a remake.
Oh, okay.
It's called Rocket Knight, I think.
I own it. I do own it. It was all right. Did you guys enjoy the music on this?
Yeah.
Because I thought the music was actually pretty good.
I actually quite liked it. I like a lot of the music from that on the Mega Drive from that era. On different.
It was cool hearing the Ghostbusters theme in like 16-bit.
In MIDI.
Yeah. MIDI. Yeah.
Because I got to,
yeah.
Go on, Tom. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I take my time when I was booting it up to start, because I just wanted to hear the theme tune
and wanted to sing it.
The Jess Clarkson approach.
Because I got very on some levels, especially like the ice level, for example, I did get very much kind of Sonic the Hedgehog vibes from some of it.
Yeah,
and that pause screen music as well was I loved.
Best part music.
Yeah, the weird thing is the final level looks a little bit like a barely inhabited version of Buttville from Earthworm Jim.
Buttville?
The final level. That's what it's called, Buttsville on Earthworm Jim, the final level.
Oh.
Remember that game we played with Mike when he
first
was on the
yes,
show?
I do remember that.
Yeah, it looks very much like that. But yeah. That's Ghostbusters for you. I don't feel like we spent a lot of time on it, but...
There wasn't a lot to it, to be fair. Nah. It was just... It's kind of one of those throwaway side-scrolling games for the Mega Drive, which isn't terrible, but it's not brilliant.
It might just not hold up well today, but back then. For a licensed game as well, because usually they were crap.
I mean, the platforming on it is bullshit as well. I mean, there was a section on the final level that you had to go through quite a few times as you went to the middle ghost, and you had to kind of come back round on yourself, where you had to jump across to one platform, but there was a roof of another platform just above it. So when you were trying to jump across, you were hitting that one and not getting across, and you had to literally be on the very, very edge of the original platform and jump from there, otherwise you just wouldn't make it. And there were so many areas like that. And
I found the fire level where you had to jump over the fire. That was a bit bullshit for the timing and things like that.
Or if you get hit by an enemy and you'd knock back insanely far.
Oh yeah, that was the worst. And you
Into
and you
another
go
one.
and you
Yeah.
go down into they'd knock you into like a hole that would take you down several platforms.
Yes.
I only realised on about level 4 there's a map which shows you where the boss is.
Yes.
Once you beat the middle ghosts. That was useful.
Yeah.
But yeah, even as a big Ghostbusters fan, and this being like a game I used to love as a kid, it's okay. It's not great.
Where does this rank in Ghostbusters games, or have you not played?
Is it
many
the
others?
only Ghostbusters game?
I know
I
there's
have
one on
played-
PS3.
Is there?
I've played 3 Ghostbusters games. I've played the Master System one, which is shit.
Yeah.
Played this one, and then there's I think it was 2009 PS3 game, which is the absolute motherfucking tits.
I think
Oh.
you find you've played
So
4
good, yeah.
because you wouldn't shut up about Ghostbusters World when it came out, and that was a game.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Ghostbusters World, but yeah, that fell off pretty quickly. But yeah, the one on PS3, Xbox 360, that's just called Ghostbusters of the video game.
Yeah.
Has the original voice cast, has those guys writing it and everything like that. And they said at the time of release, it's the closest thing to Ghostbusters 3
Wow.
we've probably ever had.
Have they,
but
is
yeah.
that not eligible yet for the show?
It would be this year,
will
I
be-
guess.
I think it was released later in the year in 2009. But I'll put it on the docket at one point in the show.
Cool.
Nice.
Sounds
It's
better,
really,
sounds
really
better than this
really,
one.
really great game. It's
Yeah.
a really great game, even not if you aren't a Ghostbusters fan. It's just a very, in my opinion, underrated game.
What is it
I
like?
was kind of
third-person action?
thankful that it was a short game this week though, because I wanted to blitz through Kingdom Hearts 3 a bit, so I was kind of happy with.
I forgot that the show was this week. I thought it was next week. And then, what was it, Thursday night? Eric said, "How are you guys getting on with Ghostbusters?" I was like, "Oh, we've got another full week yet." And he was like,
No, we don't.
No. But yeah, it was only 4 or 5 hours, if that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was with save states. But,
Sorry.
but yeah. But yeah, that to answer your question, Tom. Yeah, it's a third-person kind of shooter kind of game.
Yes.
If you're gonna play it, get the PS3 or Xbox version because there is a Wii version, but
Oh.
it's
A lot of
they
waggling.
Well, actually, the Wii control-wise, the Wii version's great, but they changed the graphic style, so the
Oh.
one on PS3, Xbox is kind of like they look like the guys from the film. It's quite realistic, whereas like the Wii version was very much kind of a cartoony kind of style with really exaggerated features
The
and things
Force,
like
the
that.
Force Unleashed approach on the Wii. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah,
exactly.
that's-
And
no.
the story is very different on it. They kind of shorten the story and things like that. The only cool thing is the actual mechanics. So obviously you shoot with the Wiimote, and then like when you release the traps, for example, you shake the nunchuck forward, which is quite cool.
Right.
But other than that, I just recommend the other one.
Wait, so question. Forgive me if you guys talked about this, but capturing the mid-level ghost.
Yep.
How do you capture him?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how I did that. It just kind of. So basically, what I was doing, I was holding.
Do you want to explain what it is first?
Holding. Yeah. See, after the middle ghosts die, they turn into a smaller ghost, which you can then trap in one of the Ghostbusters traps, and you get the proton beams to try and drag them towards this trap. Holding X or circle shoots the beam out, which then traps the ghost, and then for some reason you can pull it towards you, and then it escapes and swoops down towards you and generally hurts you. Or you can just kind of, I think you just hold X and it's suspended in the air. And I couldn't figure out how to drag it back properly to the box. I got them all in the end, but just by chance. I don't really
Every
know
single
how
time I
did
got
it.
him close to me, he would hit me and then fly away. And be like, "Oh, you got away."
Yeah.
That happened to me too.
And you only get a few chances, and then if you catch him, you get a bit of health, basically. And
So
more money.
how do you
Yeah,
do
more
it?
money.
What's the secret? What's the key?
So, what you kind of have to, how I did it, whether it's the right way or not, I don't know. But how I did it, I managed to capture them all.
Using the D-pad helps, Eric. If you,
Well, yeah, that,
Oh.
but no, the thing was. So
Do I have
the
to be holding the
so
controllers?
Yes.
optional.
So the trap is obviously there, and you get the proton beam obviously comes out diagonally. Now, what you have to pull the ghost far enough down in the proton beam above the trap for it to actually trap to open. But obviously, if you drag him too far, as you get him, if he drags too far towards you, he attacks you, like Eric said. What I tried to do was wait until he was just before the trap, because what would happen is when you get him in the proton beam, he would start dragging you sideways. So if you had him kind of towards the trap, say the trap was over to your right, you be to the left of it, grab him in the beam, then he would start dragging you towards the trap as you were pulling him towards you. That's how I did it. It's not easy. It's
No, it wasn't clear at all how to do it.
I just stopped trying to capture him because it was just another way in which I was losing health.
oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're a Ghostbusters fan, check it out. If you hate yourself, you'll really like it. But but yeah, I'm a bit disappointed that it's not as good as I remember. But you know, I was a stupid kid back then, I guess.
I was just a stupid kid back then.
And I regret playing this game. No, I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I'm glad I revisited it, but it kind of shows you how your memories of things can be kind of
Oh yeah,
sweet, I guess.
them there rose-tinted glasses.
I want to play County Sheriff instead. That sounds more like kind of thing.
Yeah.
Looking forward in the year, have we shared our final list? I was in the process of making an image to share this out, which I will, but I think we might be making some adjustments. But have we shared our final list of what we're playing this year?
We mentioned
I think-
some of them, but not all of them.
We were going to talk about them, weren't we, on the show that didn't show.
So maybe let's take a few minutes now to kind of do that, because we have I think we have a great list of games this year.
Because last year was shit.
And the big thing to put out on this is all subject to change, you know, because sometimes obviously we cancel shows because of family commitments and things
or
like
sometimes
that.
we'll look at it and go, maybe that game's not good enough for a show.
Yeah.
What, like Ghostbusters?
Subtle hint. No, I'm just kidding. So here's our list. I'm just going to roll through it, starting after this one. We have Gex Enter the Gecko, Halo Combat Evolved, Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay. So question about this for Dan and Mike. Are you going to be able to play this one with us?
I'm not on that show.
Oh, Dan, are you?
What's it on?
360?
Yeah.
I should be able to get a 360 copy.
You should probably start looking for it.
And I have a copy.
You want to get the Assault on Dark Athena, because then it comes with the HD remake of Escape from Butcher Bay.
Okay.
Escape from Butcher Bay is originally on the original Xbox. Anyway, then after that, Zone of the Enders, Mickey Mania: The Timeless Adventure of Mickey Mouse.
Mate, you will love that game. It's kind of like,
No, I don't.
It's good
I've played
as
it.
good as Castle of Illusion.
I can't get past the first level.
Well,
That's because you're an idiot.
But is it a game that can hold an entire show?
Yes.
Unlike Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I don't... we'll converse about that. After that, Day of the Tentacle. Then Fable, the original. And then the whopping hour-long A Boy and His Blob. Which...
I might change that one.
Yeah, maybe.
Boy, it's not.
Although I'm thinking, Eric, is 1 week going to be long enough for Fable? It's one shot.
I don't know if it
Maybe longer for
will, you
Fable.
know.
Because I'm quite happy to lose a week, because obviously I put A Boy and His Blob in. I'm quite happy to lose that week and do a second week on Fable, if you want to split it into 2 shows.
Let me see
Well,
how long that
we'll
there
see how we
Fable
get
is.
on.
I think
Hold on.
Fable's about 20
Fable's only
hours.
12 hours.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well,
Yeah, it's not super long.
that's fine.
Oh, I thought it was huge.
No.
Nah,
Oh,
I
okay.
think people think that those games are bigger than they are because they kind of got this RPG kind of skin on them, but they're not really.
You can blitz through them pretty quickly. Then after that, we are tackling for our one big RPG of the year, the original Kingdom Hearts. We have that set to span all of June and July, so 4 shows. And then reluctantly, we're going with Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. We'll try
game
that one
sucks.
again. Oh,
I tried it the other day. Fuck me, that game
it's
sucks.
so bad.
I just want to experience it. I've never.
I get it. It's a Zelda game and everything. Fair enough, but just warning for 6, 7, 8 months time, whatever. That game sucks.
It's so bad. Then we are delving into The Getaway.
And we will get lost by the terrible indicator system.
Hey, Tom loves that system.
Hey,
I'm rather looking forward to that game.
yeah, because that's
Yeah,
a
it should
nice
be good.
mixed bag.
Isn't that one that we put in one of the mystery bags, or did you end up keeping it for yourself?
I get the Getaway because I really wanted to play it. And you can't get it anywhere else. I was like, oh.
You stole the Getaway.
Side note,
Yes.
I don't think we explained
He
how...
got away with it.
I don't think we explained how we picked the games for the mystery bags. So
we didn't.
We were at one of the game stores, and Tom and I were picking up just garbage games, and we said, let's see who can find the game with the worst overall Metacritic rating. So everybody had to scour the store, and they all had to choose one game, and then we looked up the Metacritic score, and there wasn't any prize for it, but we just the whole goal was to try to find the lowest overall Metacritic rating. If it didn't have one, it didn't qualify, and that's when we said we should just give ourselves a price limit of sub $3 and just buy a bunch of games and give them away on the show. And that's how we. There are some gems in those mystery bags.
I think I had a terrible bowling game for.
Oh, don't ruin it!
Oh,
I'm excited for Jeremy Sanford to get his. I kind of gave him a heads up on it and said this one will be good. But anyway, yeah. Then we're going on to The Mark of Kree for PS2.
I've never heard of this. What's
Me
this?
neither.
So it is a action adventure game that is hyper violent. I remember when it first came out on PS2 playing it and thinking, oh great, this kind of looks like a little cool Disney game, but it is insanely violent. Overall Metacritic,
why you want to play it then?
80%, 8.8 average score, so it's a really good games. Sony San Diego.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. and then
It did
we've
get a
got-
sequel. Then we've got Luigi's Mansion.
Yes.
Oh yeah, cool.
I'm excited to play that.
After that, Dan gave us Project Eden, which, what the hell is that?
It's a
Sounds like a Tom
action
game.
adventure game for PS2 where you have 4 different characters and you have to direct them all around. It's kind of like, I think it's made by Eidos, who made Tomb Raider,
Okay.
and it's
Oh.
pretty good actually. It's like dystopian future kind of thing, but each character has specific skills. So you have to direct them all, like swap control between them to solve puzzles and things. It's really quite clever.
I remember seeing the
time.
box for it a lot. Relatively interested in that.
I was just looking through my games and went, yeah, Project Eden.
Then we've got, for our Halloween show this year, we are finally stepping away from Silent Hill.
God.
We stepped away last year.
Oh, yeah, with Dead Space, because we couldn't
we
do
did
Dead
Dead
Space
Space.
2. Sorry. We are going to go to Eternal Darkness, which we're going to need to find a way for Dan and Mike to procure that game between now and then.
I've got original Wii, so I can play the GameCube.
That's what I was about to say, but is it cheap?
It's about $50. I think we can. We'll find a way.
I might not be on that show.
No. You need to experience this game, so we'll make it work.
So hard.
We've got the funds from the coffers to help out if we need to. Then November 3rd, finally, Super Mario Galaxy.
What?
I'm excited to play that since I've never played the Galaxy games.
And we are going to tackle a Final Fantasy game this year in the form of Dirge Cerberus. Then on to the PS1 phenomenon, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. And then
I hope that's as terrible as I think it is.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, when we were in MoCon, Ben Schrader was obsessed with trying to find a copy of it. And he finally found it. Then December 15th, reluctantly, we're playing Resident Evil 4.
Woo. I'm excited.
Eric, I think you should play it on the Wii.
I will.
Yeah.
Because I think you're gonna go in with the kind of opinion you have of Resident Evil 4, and I think it's going to hamper your enjoyment of it. And I think if you go in playing the Wii version, which I've not played, but I've seen someone else play, it just looks like a lot of fun.
The only way I
And I
will
think
not
if you
play
have that-
the Wii version is if I can find the PS2 chainsaw controller. Didn't you guys get the chainsaw controller
Yeah.
over there?
Yeah.
I know what you're on about. Yeah.
If I can find that, I will play through the entirety of the game using the chainsaw controller.
I will play the Wii version because that's the one I have it for.
I'm hoping it's out on Switch by then, and I'll play it on Switch portably at work.
Yeah,
but if
that's
not,
fair.
I've got it on PS3. I might have it on PS4, but I've definitely got it on PS3.
Nice.
That's our year. What are you guys most looking forward to playing this year?
I'm
Kingdom
mostly looking
Hearts?
forward to Fable for sure.
I'm
'Cause
looking forward to Fable.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4, actually.
And The Getaway,
right.
because I never actually finished The Getaway. It's a hard game, but I'm kind of excited to revisit that.
I'm excited to see what people think of Dirge of Cerberus as well.
I'm probably the most. There's a few on my list. I'm excited to play Chronicles of Riddick. I've never played it, but everybody that has, it's kind of got this cult following. They're like, this game is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited to
Darkness.
play Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, because I've never played that, and it's got a huge following. Yeah.
And then, honestly, just hold on to your tits, because I'm going to say it. I'm kind of excited to play Resident Evil 4 just because Resident Evil 2 is done now. Shut up, Mike.
I thought in my head there you were going to say something about Mega Man, but then I was like, there's not Mega Man on the list.
It's a year of change.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm not going to be here for Gex. So my next game is going to be Halo, which I'm actually quite excited about because I am not much of a first-person shooter fan. The last kind of era of first-person shooters I really played was some PS1 shooters.
Yeah.
And recently I played Wolfenstein: The New Order. Absolutely loved it. I had to put it on a slightly easier difficulty because I suck at first-person shooters. So I'm really looking forward to... Because Halo, in some ways, was the very beginning of kind of the modern era
shooters.
First-person shooters
Yeah.
on consoles. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to actually finally giving Halo a proper go, because I've never played it properly. Played a little bit of multiplayer back in the day.
Can somebody mute him?
That's really annoying. I played a little bit of multiplayer back in the day on someone's Xbox, but I never played the campaign.
So, Mike...
Here's my question to you, though. Here's my question.
Oh, go ahead.
So I'm going to be playing the anniversary version, because obviously I've got an Xbox One.
Yeah.
On that, you can switch between the old graphics and the new graphics. Since we're doing it for the show, should I play it on the old graphics?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here was what I was going to ask you, since we then have nearly a month between now and the Halo show. You and I should try to play through the campaign co-op.
Okay. How many hours is the campaign?
10?
Okay. Because the only time really we can do it is weekends.
Average couple hours.
So Friday and Saturday nights for me would be the only times I'll be able to do it.
We'll figure it out. I think that'd be kind of fun. If I could figure out how to get... Huh?
Is it drop in, drop out?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's drop in, drop out, then that will make it easier, because obviously if I need to catch up towards the end, then can do.
Yeah.
It's a good co-op experience.
Yeah, it's a
worth
lot
it.
of fun.
If you can get it to work, it's good.
Because if I could figure out how to get the Xbox One to stream, we could throw that up as with us playing through it.
Yeah, sounds good. And
Nice.
I won't have to play it on easy mode then as well.
Yeah, we could play it on Legendary.
No.
Fuck that.
No.
I honestly, Eric, I suck at first-person shooters. Really, really suck at them.
Good, you can be my bullet sponge.
And side-scrolling platformers as well.
Shut the fuck
know
up.
which button is jump.
Damn.
Yeah. Do we have any questions?
We had one comment from Zach that I don't have ready because I wasn't ready.
You weren't ready?
No, well, normally I'm ready, but this time not ready. No, that's just my normal Facebook timeline. Hang on. Where did it go?
Buddy Bell said, "Have you guys played Overcooked on Switch?"
Yeah, we put that down real quick.
I
Yeah.
hate that game.
I love Overcooked.
I like it too, but
yeah,
we did not
it's-
function well as a group.
Did my head in. I was like, I do not want to play this.
It's the only game I've ever
We didn't
found
even get to that.
stressful.
Didn't even get to the hard levels, Dan.
See,
No,
and that game,
honestly.
it brought out my inner fuck with people mindset. Like when the new Super Mario Brothers U came out, and I was the person making the blocks instead of helping them, I'm blocking them.
Yeah.
It was
Such a nice guy.
Are you
it
sure
was
about
tough.
doing co-op with Eric, Mike?
There's no
Eric.
friendly fire.
Eric,
What?
He
Eric,
likes
if
to
we're playing
steal.
co-op, don't be a dick. I want to actually have fun.
I won't. As long
But
as
I
I'm not
played-
driving the Warthog.
I played co-op Gauntlet with Eric once, and he looted every corpse, and I didn't get any gold.
Talked to Scott Girardi about Champions in Norath and Baldur's Gate. It was just a constant struggle. We would run into a room filled with enemies, and there was a single treasure chest on the other side, and it was a fuck you, fuck all the enemies, I'm getting that chest first. You're dead? Great. I'm going to kill all these enemies and loot everything before I think about reviving you.
Right, so Facebook. Jay Jorgensen said the Sega Ghostbusters was so much better than the Nintendo game. Have fun, fellas. So, yeah, there must have been some sort of Nintendo game, Tom. And then Zach just put, had an absolute blast with the crew. Thanks so much for having me. And thanks to all that attended the meet and greets, etc. My question, did the toilet survive the rest of the trip?
Shockingly, no, it didn't. And Dan will vehemently deny this. He managed to duplicate his experience in a different bathroom.
No, I didn't. It wasn't me.
It was. You were the last one that was in there. And Christy came downstairs and she's like, toilet upstairs won't flush and it's filled with toilet paper. Like somebody had taken the roll and just done the cat thing and unspun it and crammed it in the toilet.
Eric, honest
I wasn't
to God,
aware of this. This is news to me.
That was not me. I did not go to that toilet that night.
I don't know.
God.
Oh, man. Maybe Christy was just trying to blame it on you.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Christy.
Santos Lopez said, since the game was Ghostbusters, have you ever seen a ghost or experienced the paranormal?
I think we've talked about that quite a bit before, haven't we?
Have we?
I've experienced a ghost attack, my friend. I really have.
Just listen to the Final Fantasy VII Remake reveal show.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
No, I definitely have. I mean, I've got a number of
My
stories.
walls are still sticky.
I don't think I have. No.
Yeah, my grandparents' house, I'm pretty sure has some shit that was going on in it. I lived with them for a while. It was a really nice house, finished basement, and I had a room in the basement. And I just always felt like that weird, uneasy presence. And one day I was sitting downstairs playing games, and I heard
Was there no copies of Mega Man in the vicinity?
There wasn't. I felt off. And I heard water running in the bathroom, and I just come out of the bathroom and thought for sure that I just maybe left the faucet running. And as I walked back into the bathroom, just physically watched the nozzle turn itself off, and the water stopped running.
Fuck
What?
that shit.
Yeah. Another house I lived in had stairs, or had an upstairs with a door at the bottom of it, and we were sitting in the living room and just watched the door open the knob and just open itself. Like, okay, this is... And it's the same house where there was a light in the basement at the front of the house that every time I'd come home from work, it would be on, and nobody would ever go down there. So I'd go down, turn it off, next day, come out, be on. Just little things like that.
Nope.
Is this in Wisconsin?
Yeah. Apparently, when I was a kid, we lived in... it was an old barn that had been converted to a house. And my sister and I would come downstairs, and we would tell stories about the mean old lady who would read us stories. My parents were like, what are you talking about? Is this at daycare? And we're like, no, in our room. And apparently we were like 2 or 3 at the time. We couldn't comprehend, and I don't remember this, but we would always talk about this mean old lady that would sit in the rocking chair in our room and read stories to us and yell at us.
My God.
really
It's
weird.
terrifying.
So, yeah.
Oh, no.
I haven't experienced any of that shit since I moved to
I've never
Arizona.
had anything, thankfully, but...
I'd be surprised you wouldn't experience something in Het, to be honest, Dan.
Yeah, Jesus, with all the burnings at the stake that happened there.
I mean, there is that apparition that lives with him. What's her name? Crystal?
Loves toilet paper.
Yes, she just won't
She
go
is a
away.
ghost.
Whilst we're on the subject of scariness, Dan, Eternal Darkness, CEX, sell it for £15.
Oh, shit,
All right.
that is a steal.
That is such a steal. 15.
I had to pay 50.
Wow. That's brilliant.
And Dan doesn't care if it's complete or not, so.
No.
Let's double check. Yeah, in stock online.
Is it
Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
is it on the Wii U shop?
The Wii U shop, I'm not sure.
I don't think it ever came. I don't think it went beyond the GameCube. Not to my
Let me
knowledge.
see.
Someone could correct me on that.
So this is fine because although my Wii U is the one that's hooked up, I think we have one of Hazel's old Wiis in the house. So if I can get a Wii to HDMI converter that's similar to my PS2 one, and then get a GameCube controller, I'll be fine.
I'll send you a
That's
link
handy.
to the
Point
thing that I bought.
For Wii GameCube games, do you have to get the GameCube controller as well?
Yes. I do.
Yes.
Oh, right,
And,
okay. I'll have to get one of them as well.
You can get the Wii to HDMI converter. I use one on mine. They're like £5.
Oh, sweet.
See, and
Yeah.
I think what we used for the show is probably better because it's more universal. It's just a composite to HDMI.
Oh, okay.
So I'll send you a link to that one.
No, it's not on the Wii U shop.
Well,
answer your
shit.
question. Yeah, but yeah, I will probably get that when I get paid next week because I don't want it to. If it's as rare as you guys say, I don't want it to sell out.
Yeah.
But yeah, £15 on CEX, Dan.
Cool. Get me a copy as well and ship it up.
No.
What's the postage on the CEX? Is it like £2.50? Is it per game or is it just
couple of quid?
That's not bad.
Yeah, something like that. It's not bad at all.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I didn't pay much for Ace Combat at all.
Nah.
Great game. Excellent game. Nearly done with Ace Combat 7. That game is so good.
Airplanes. I've had enough of airplanes. We've been in a lot of them. Pain in the arse.
Yeah.
Fair.
Guys, that's it.
I think they give me the Black Death.
That's gonna do it.
Ain't gonna do it.
I miss you guys.